Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. It's another night of wrestling here at the Wrestling for Life Network, and we're going to dive into WWE NXT tonight. The last night on USA as they move to the CW, but we got press conference and so much more to talk about and get into. It's going to be a fun one here on the channel, so strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good, and make sure you click all those buttons. Beyond that, let's go! Ding, ding, ding. We're live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream as we are set to kick off NXT tonight. Lots to talk about, lots to get into, a big night ahead, a conference, a Waller effect, and so much more. But me and that pretty face going to run you through the next couple hours of wrestling on this terrific Tuesday. Like I said, get in that chat, click all the buttons. I hope everyone is happy, healthy, and safe, and you are ready to go. But without further ado, I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I'm Big Nick, and yes, tonight we've got the last NXT on USA before they go off to CW with I Don't Want to Wait. But we talked about this before we went live, and I do want to kind of start off with this. It feels a little weird that they're having the whole press conference for them going to the CW network on the last one while they're still on the USA network and everything. Like, yeah, it feels interesting, weird a little bit.
A little interesting, a little weird. The only caveat to it, Nick, I think, like part of me wondered, is it because the ongoing relationship with the USA network, did they get a little bit of favor on this one? Was it a little bit of, listen, we're going to do this thing. We're moving the show. Everybody knows we're moving the show. But you've had Raw, you got SmackDown. Come on. So, again, it feels like the relationship is well. And from what I can assume, it looks like they're good to go on this. So, a little surprising, though. Not very often. Like, we didn't see Fox do much as far as, like, there was no press conference. They just talked about it. So, again, a half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. But here we are, and we will have a press conference of some kind tonight.
Yeah, we took the hour off of Raw, so they gave them the press conference for CW and everything.
Right. So, interesting.
Which is still setting up everything that they've got going on with the first October show, with their debut on CW. To where we're going to have Trick versus Ethan Page. You're going to have Julia versus Roxanne. CM Punk's the special guest referee. We're getting Miz TV, all of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, folks, we see that chat lighten up already. Remember, we want to see triple digits in the chat for all these streams. So make sure you be a friend, tell a friend, share this link anywhere you talk about wrestling. And we got lots to talk about. So let us know what is on your wrestling mind. But tonight is an interesting night. A lot kind of announced for this one. I mean, we're looking at a whole bunch of different things. We talked about the press conference. Somebody in the chat saying that this match will kick off the night. Two young and up-and-comers. Ren made me laugh last week when she clapped Kalani upside the head and ran away. So this is, to me, like they're using that North American women's title very for that like developmental division, like very green. So not a whole lot of high hopes, but I hope they can pull off a solid match.
But should it be that, or should it be the women's mid-card title and everything? Well, should it be to where like a Lola Vice, a Carmen Petrovich, what have you, should be going at this belt?
I get that. I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, it's kind of a tier 2 belt. Mid card, if you will. So does that fall into some of the greener talent, like a Kalani and a Ren? And then you have like Lola kind of sniffing around the big picture. I mean, a very good question. I mean, it's interesting. I don't mind it because it's kind of been allowed to highlight somebody like a Kalani Jordan who we weren't really sure about. She came, she did well, got injured, came back. We're still kind of waiting to see if there's more to her. But she's had a couple really good matches, especially against Sol Ruca. So, yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
Sol Ruca is a perfect example of somebody who could have a nice little run with this, or somebody like a Jada Parker could have a nice little run with this and everything. Yeah. I don't mind it, but if with it being like an enhancement title and everything, like, so what is it, the level up title? To me, it should be, it's the precursor for when they try and do a mid-card women's title on the main roster, so I would like to see it treated as such.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you're feeling like it's a little lower than mid.
It's to me, it's like right now coming off a little lower than where it should be at.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't overly mind it. I don't think I felt like, oh man, it'll be interesting how they move forward with it and how they line it up as far as does Kalani drop the belt to somebody with a little bit of a bigger stature. I don't know. We know the women get used a lot in this division, so I mean, for my money, it's been an okay run for Kalani. She still hasn't super impressed me yet, but it's early. A nice little spotlight for them, and I don't mind it. To me, it does feel like a step down from the main of, like, I know other companies where the tier one, your top title and your mid talent titles kind of blend, and or you're not quite sure what one's
Right.
what. So this one, there's a definitive line of like, this is our main title, this is our secondary title.
Fair enough, and I can get that, and I understand that, yeah. And it
Yeah.
is still, it's proof positive, like you said, of it's another spotlight for the women's roster on NXT, which we've talked about. It is arguably the best women's roster in wrestling right now, and gets presented as such.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with that. So, I mean, again, we'll see how it goes. I hope they have a good match, and it's a nice opportunity. And Ren's another lady that's been involved in storylines that I'm not exactly keen on yet. So we'll see how it goes. This match here tonight should be a fun one. The good old boys, the good brothers, gonna take on Hank and Tank, who I still think we named, but this should be fun. And Hank and Tank got themselves over, Nick.
Oh, 100%. Hank and Take are the official tag team of the Wrestling for Life Network. 100%. Push them to the moon. There are Outrunners, which actually Outrunners are friends of the channel too as well. But yeah, push them to the moon. I like that. Hank and Tank should hopefully go over the Good Brothers, which shame on the Good Brothers have come back, get drafted to SmackDown. Haven't
Yeah.
good SmackDown locker room since, I feel.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like they're collecting W's in NXT. Really been used to put a lot of like teams over. They lost to Fraxium. Yeah, very interesting times for the OC. AJ Styles has been a little MIA. People aren't sure if he made it back from Japan or not, or where
Right.
he is. Is he in Georgia just hanging out? We'll find him. We'll find him.
Right. But yeah, I'm taking Hank and Tank for this one. Well,
I like it. Nick can't wait for this one. Nick's favorite match of the night, which I purposely made the two ladies in the front a little smaller so that we could focus on the two ladies in the back.
Yeah, lovely. With Wendy Chu and Rosemary taking on Brindley Reese and Carmen Petrovich. At this point, I think I've been beaten into submission with the Wendy Chu thing. We're just going to agree to disagree at this point. We've reached an impasse, much like Zilla and GCW. We've reached an impasse.
Yeah, I mean, again, different strokes for different folks. But at the end of the day, I mean, I particularly like Rosemary and Chu together. I think I actually credit Rosemary for making me like Chu a little bit more. And like I said before, and again, we can, different flavors for everybody. I just like that she's not as silly as she used to be. She's a little more intense, she got a little more piss and vinegar, if you will.
Fair enough. I still think she's still kind of the same in ring outside of being the less silly, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I really like Rosemary, but yeah, moving on. It's too early to be yelling and screaming right now.
Right, they're taking on Blonde Ambition tonight. That's what I call them anyway. But they're taking on Reese and Carmen, good old Canadian girl. And we'll see. This one's very interesting. I imagine Rosemary and Chu are going to get this dub. So very interesting one. We'll see how that goes. And Oro taking on Lexus King. Lexus did something that I didn't know you could do. I didn't realize AI was at the point that it could make facial hair. And
I think he's testing it. He's breaking that fourth wall with that technology here, because he's literally out there, like when you make a player in any video game or whatever, and you get the random ass goofy facial hairs. This is what this man's doing with his jawline.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And again, it doesn't look real. It throws me off. A part of me thinks it holds him back, actually, because it's like, I just can't get past your face. I can't.
You look so ridiculous, sir. Like you come out on a throne, you come out like Sergeant Pepper's, and then you have like riffraff facial hair. Like I'm waiting for like a getting spoiler from a Honda Civic to pop up in this man's fucking facial hair and shit.
Like,
Because it's just so over the fucking top. He's the guy that would be out there that has like the beard glitter, puts like the little jingle bells in their beard around Christmas season and everything.
there's photo evidence of me doing that, so I don't.
Oh, well,
I don't
strike that from the record, Your Honor.
But I'll accept that. Weird match. I mean, we've seen the ongoing saga. You're a bigger fan of Chase U than me. Riley is going to take on Ridge tonight. Any thoughts on this one?
He's got to get vengeance for Thea Hale, which I'm still wondering why isn't Duke doing anything? Why isn't Andre doing anything? Instead, we're relying on good old Riley Osborne.
Well, is he gonna like work his way back up, like take out Riley, then you move up to Duke, then take?
Yeah.
I mean, Andre's been MIA. Like Andre wasn't there last week, if my memory serves me correct. So I do expect this to lead to Ridge versus Chase. And I still don't trust every member of Chase U. Could a Duke like turn on Andre at the end of all this and go another? Like, could Duke and Ridge become a team, kind of thing?
I wouldn't. That's not a terrible idea. I think they would be all right as a tag team. But is it a little like after he turns that we all knew was coming and he takes everybody out and everything at No Mercy and just puts Andre through the table and everything? Does he need to face Riley Osborne, or should he just jump already of like give us, him versus Duke out the gate? We don't need this match right now, I feel.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel with Chase U in general. So
fair enough.
It will be an interesting match. Ridge's return to NXT has been weird. He retired, then he joined Chase U instead of retiring, then became the hero at Chase U, then turned on Chase U. Maybe we've had enough of Chase U.
I think that's really what it is. I mean, granted, when we watched Duke and Riley as a tag team when they were going after the tag belts and everything with Chase U, Riley Osborne actually looked pretty solid. He looks really capable in the ring and everything. He's another kind of flippy-doo that they have on NXT, but he looks solid. But the Ridge thing is, to me, more of an anchor at this point. It makes no sense how we even got here, and it was the most predictable heel turn that we've seen in wrestling in a while.
Yeah, a little bit, but we only got a couple minutes left. You and I talked right through the pre-show real fast tonight. So we're going to rapid fire through some roll call here, folks. So bear with us. We might not read your question out the gate. Remember, we do have the super chat, super stickers, but Kadarius is back. MDB on knee pad patrol on a Tuesday. Rocco, Kevin, I see you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Eric Isaacs with us. ZFW Zero Fear Wrestling. Welcome. Dawn's back with us. Always a pleasure, Dawn. Daniel, Barry, Sports Highlight, Damien, the leader of the Hopium Tribe. Looking forward to stuff. Denisha's with us. Kira Bryan is back with us as well. I see Dennis Hodge. I see some new names. Jake, the OG Tribal Chief, back with us as well. Chris, I see you. Eric Tate, Richard's back. Joe Black here causing trouble. Tommy, welcome. Chris, always a pleasure as well. Capone's with us. Chambers is back. Elimination Chambers. We're almost back around to another one.
Right.
Spaz, always a pleasure, sir. Fellow Canadian. 316, shocked you made a comment. Oh, wait, there you go. Not about Liv Morgan. That's good. I like it.
We're progressing.
Clay Lewis, welcome back. Trey, I think I got you. Dale, the OG, back in the chat. Love it. Lots going on. Art King, I see you. That's most Logan James, I see you. Can you hear that beeping?
No, I don't know. Do you have a bomb beside you or something like that, sir? Do you have your smoke alarm going off?
Gilly, Keyshawn. Who else we got? Tony's with us, and the show is about to begin, folks. For those who don't know, Nick and I will sync our stuff up and make sure we're on the same page. If you want to do the same to make sure you're following along with us, feel free to do so. As I believe
in Joe Hendry
now. Oh wait,
I have then.
Hold up, I'm about to get then.
I'm at now.
Now.
There we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, NXT set and ready to go. Get in that chat. Be a friend, tell a friend. I want to see triple digits. I want to have a good one tonight. So let's go. and let's see what NXT has in store. Welcome back, Rashad, as well. Gordon, I see you. Jason. Woo! I love that this list is getting longer and longer. But folks, what are you thinking? Hey ho, hey ho.
As we are kicking off with Kalani Jordan putting on the Women's NXT North American Championship on the line versus Wendy Ren Sinclair. I almost blanked out there for a moment. Ren Sinclair.
Ren Sinclair. Let's go. Let's go.
You guys got gas, huh? Yeah.
We got what?
Gas. We smoking that gas.
Oh. Always. Let's go. Let's go.
Rashad saying, what's up to the greatest stream trio in the YouTube universe? KJ, Big Nick, and Ringsider Anthony. Absolutely. Shout out, Rashad.
Let's go. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. What are we doing here?
But folks, let us know who you're taking in this match right now, whether you're taking Kalani Jordan to retain, or if you've got Ren Sinclair with, the quarter pound catch crew coming out. Am I forgetting that, Dempsey's had the mutton chops? I think it was last week because I made the joke about shave them sideburns.
Yeah, those sideburns.
Right.
But get your votes in, folks. Who are you taking in the first one? Remember, we take a prediction on every single match. We take a rating out of 10 at the end of the night. And get it in. What's up, Anthony? Welcome back. We're over 100 already, kicking off the show. Love seeing triple digits in our chat.
Right. And also, Mike Rome is back too, by the way, for everybody that was out there worried that he got released or anything like that. No, he was on baby duty. He was on daddy duty.
That's it. He's having big news.
Right.
The vast majority of everybody taking KJ, so Kalani Jordan on this one. Can't bet against KJ, folks.
Right. I mean, I still think Ren's kind of shown out. I like her a bit with the no quarter catch crew. It's at least made it feel a little bit more relevant, a little bit more something.
Does it feel? Well, I mean, I don't know. She's silly for me. I haven't got there yet.
Fair. But she's kind of like been the motivational. Like she was the one that kind of initially got them back in line here a little bit.
Maybe. I just the quarter pounder crew. It'll be very interesting. I think for me, the linchpin of all of it's going to end up being Tavion Heights and what he does. I think he is a surprise kind of blue chipper. Spent some time in Japan. Now he's back. He looks good, ramped, ready to go. So
kid's a stud. Kid's a stud.
But again, we watch a lot of this wrestling, and I'm really hoping to see a really good performance from these two up-and-coming women.
All right. Shoot into the ropes. Shoulder barge by Ren right now. Tavion is fired. Yeah, what I saw, especially when he was over in Noah, really put him over with me. I was like, all right, you're a stud. You're a blue chip now.
I like that they brought him back on an Impact. Like he came in last week or was it the week before and literally just flattened people and looked ready. Like it was good energy to get him back.
Right.
I said last week that KJ Ren is like Maria back in the day, like dumb and nice type, minus the Vince-isms. You might not be wrong.
Fair enough.
Super chat from Spaz. K to the Jigga J. I like it. Nikki Biggs and Tony Rings in the chat. Big love to the Terror Trio. Think we get a memories video to end the show like the last episode of 2.0 got? Maybe. We saw what they did on SmackDown where they were kind of paying homage to the 20 years or whatever it was on Fox.
Right. Well, if they don't do one on TV, I know that they've at least put one out on Twitter that's been going around and everything. Yeah. I saw a bit of that before we went live tonight, but I don't know if we'll get it on TV. That might be the trade-off too. We'll get, we get the sentimental package because NXT's only been on USA since it's been on network TV.
Yeah, it's its only home. So again, so long, farewell.
Right.
Cora Jade not ever win NXT Women's Champion because Julia and Stephanie Vacour. Cora Jade will be a very interesting case because the landscape has changed a lot. Same with we talked about Nikita Lyons. Great pace to start this match, Nick. Holy shit. Technical. Nice bridge.
It's just roll through into a pin, roll through into a pin, backslide, small package.
Yeah, Cora Jade, Nikita Lyons, some of the women actually that have been out are coming back into a whole new NXT, and we still haven't even seen Stephanie. I seen someone in the chat say, "What's the holdup?" Apparently, it was visa issues. I don't know if that's still the issue. It might be just a placement thing right now where they're trying to. Oh wow, down
She
goes.
got lucky that she got caught because she was gonna go straight to the fucking floor with that. So
Wow.
with Kalani doing the twisted corkscrew over the top rope, she just barely got over the fucking apron and everything.
Right.
That was gonna go real bad. As I'm in commercial break right now. Bash 8 saying hi guys.
Hi guys.
Spaz with a $2 super chat saying sentimental package. Shouldn't have clicked on that one, but it was a super chat. So, I mean, you paid for it.
Right. Remember, folks, super chat, super stickers, and the membership are how you guarantee to stand out in the crowd.
I like this, though, from Scott as we're in commercial break of the 10 points the Jag scored is equal to 50 20 years ago, according to Mensah. So TK actually wins.
That's beautiful, actually. Well said, sir. Unfortunately for them, not true.
Right? Much like Mensah's star ratings.
Right. As we are in the first commercial break of this one, and both Kalani and Ren off to a good start. Still, Kalani, overwhelming favorite. I think the voting stops at 81% going for Kalani in this one. So, not a surprise. Not a lot of faith in Ren taking that title.
Well, and it makes sense, and they are getting like it's clearly being a push behind Kalani with all of this. I remember even when she won it, she was the odds-on least favorite to win that ladder match when she first won this belt. So they're clearly getting behind her. They're clearly see something in her and want to push her. So it's kind of the obvious choice that she retains. Now, granted, does Ren pull a Jey Uso and get the upset? But I don't know if she's been there for 10 years like Jey. Or 14.
Keep it exciting. That's how you keep it exciting. If you have those random wins that you don't see coming, that's when the wrestling's fun.
Right.
Good match so far. Somebody pointing out that Kalani, very athletic, gymnast at Michigan State. So again, not a complete, out of left field. So athletic. There you go.
That's still that corkscrew splash that she did over the rope there. Like, at least the way it looked to me, she was about to hit the apron. Like, Ren had to baseball slide, like catching a pop fly at the outfield there to catch her to make sure she didn't just go straight to the ground.
Yeah. Is Jordan turning heel? I don't imagine so. She seems uber babyface. I don't think there's any indication of her going heel at any point anytime soon. So I don't know if you've seen anything, but I have not seen anything that would give me that indication yet.
There's nothing from her. She's a squeaky clean baby face. Like, she's like babyface. Like,
yeah.
Not even says cuss words or anything like that.
Yeah.
Chris saying, yes, Miss Parker or Soul should have won that ladder match for the North American title. And see, that goes back to, I guess, how I felt initially, like where the title's at now. I view it as it's a bit more than what it is, whether that's on Kalani. Like, Kalani to me ain't there yet.
Yeah, no, I think it's, again, for me, and I understood why Kalani did it. I believe that Kalani was the favorite to win the breakout tournament. So it was almost a get back for her to circle back to it. And again, I think that Miss Parker, Lola, they're kind of in that next tier where they're going after that main title. And then there is that drop off where you have the Rens, the Races, the Carmens,
right?
Maybe the Choo-Choos.
As we pop back up back from commercial break, as we're back at 100 in the chat and everything. I think everybody just went and took the commercial break too.
Right. How long is NXT doing PIP?
Picture in picture. I didn't get any picture in picture.
I didn't get picture in picture either. So
yeah, I'm not sure how you're watching, sir, that you got picture in picture, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I did notice a good amount of picture in picture on SmackDown. So that would be a change. Agree with Spaz. What's up, Boston? How you doing, sir? Welcome on back. Sapphic, good to see you. Roll Tide, no need to say sorry. Better late than never. And we appreciate you being here even for a minute, sir.
Right.
Jason throwing out commercial count under 10. I'll go under 10.
Under?
5 an hour. Might be high.
I'll take a push and say that we get 10.
10? Fair.
Well, I mean, we got one 10 minutes in.
15.
Right? So chop off 5 there, minus an hour. Steven saying, wouldn't mind seeing Roxanne versus Kalani, but it looks like Julia getting the title. I would assume so. I think once Roxanne drops that title, I think she's going up. Unless she might have one match or so that she runs it back with Julia, and then she goes up because she doesn't really have anything left to achieve here.
Yeah, my only fear is what happens to Roxy when she does go to the next level, because I can't imagine her running up the chart very fast. I mean, there is a murderer's row of women in her way that I don't think she, just about every aspect, she's going to be a very small fish in a very big ocean.
Fair enough. True. And well, we run into this now a lot with, like, we had it with Carmelo Hayes. We have it a little bit with Trick. We had it with Braun Breaker of really, you kind of expect them to move up, but they're waiting until they have the right thing for them when they move up.
Yeah, time, place, sensibility with it all.
Right.
As the quarter pound crews kind of having a party on the outside of the ring.
Well, because Ren's right now just whooping ass and taking names. She's hitting, back-to-back double underhook suplexes.
And a very good match. I've enjoyed the pace of the match. I think it's been clean. Again, we watch a lot of women's wrestling that is a little slower and clunkier than this. This doesn't look like two ladies having a training bout. Looks like a good wrestling match for my money so far. As Kalani going to the floor, getting harassed.
Is she gonna beat up the quarter pound cut? Well, as Ren, and that was a beautifully shot camera angle.
Yeah. Takes out both of her guys. Yeah.
Right?
Somehow you're ahead of me by a couple seconds again.
Sorry, I'll just wrap up real quick.
As I got Kalani sliding Ren back into the ring and following up. Catches the boot. Up over. Nice kick.
Right.
Let's go.
Let me know you get the split-legged.
Split leg moonsault.
There we go.
And 3. Goodbye.
And it actually, that helped Ren too, because she was going over strong in that match until the miscalculation, and she ends up, splashing into the quarter catch crew.
Yeah, Ren gave a bit of a good showing there. Some nice suplexes. Again, good transitions in the beginning of the match. And to the credit of whoever produced this match, Kalani hits her finisher, and it's good night. It's not kick out and go for more. You got caught by my finisher, it's over.
That's become the new trend, thankfully, in WWE, of finishers or finishers again.
Yeah, as they should be. Ready for hockey. I'm currently in a fantasy draft.
Right. That might be why KJ might seem a little distracted at times and everything. He's trying to watch NXT do this and draft fantasy hockey at the same time. Man's committed to the hockey. Man's truly Canadian, folks.
It is, but hasn't started yet. And I got last pick, of course. So
there we go. I'm getting Trick interviewed right now. But Stoner Jesus, what up? I don't know if we got Spaz's super chat up here.
Not this one.
$10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Wrestling is stories, good versus evil. A hero we cheer and a villain we boo. So is the biggest assumption in the world of wrestling the assumption that the fans are good, moral people. Hashtag Big Spaz thoughts. Well, fair enough, sir.
Nice.
Deep thoughts by
press
Jack
conference.
Handy.
We are in the press conference.
Okay. I would have thought they would have had him come out and do the table thing or have him backstage or what have you. Well, now they are. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we got Ethan Page talking right now. Did you hear him with Chris Van Fleet and everything today? Really, I liked how he put of why he left AEW. Yeah. They weren't using me. I went somewhere where I felt I could actually reach my potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he talked about being prepared and the years he put into being prepared, and he was really hoping for an opportunity in another company or in AEW to be direct. and it wasn't happening. So it was time for him to move on and go another direction. And so far, it looks like he made the absolute right decision because he's already at the top of this division. The next step is the main roster.
Right. Sit there and pair him up with Austin Theory and, you know, Grayson Waller and all that. That's douchebag city.
Right.
But no, he's really, I don't want to use the term blossom, but I'll say it. He's blossomed since he's come over and been in NXT and everything. And this shows why you have guys come over from AW and come over from other promotions and they start off in NXT. Like we talked about it yesterday with Hikalea. We've talked about it with Motor City. If they've truly signed, if they're going to debut in NXT.
Yeah. And again, I mean, now people are trying to figure out some of these teases, a lot of guessing games with who's going where and doing what. But again, a lot of optimism and a big push. And it feels a little more strategic, at least from the WWE side of things, of not just scooping up everybody. It's got to be somebody. And actually, speaking of that, where's Cameron Grimes?
A free agent.
Yeah, but where? Like, have we seen him like kicking around?
I'm trying to remember the last place. It was either GCW or like MLW or something. It was one of the indie promotions. But yeah, he hasn't done a ton lately.
Mm-hmm. No, not a lot, eh?
Well, and you're surprised that he's not a guy that Tony would be snatching up or anything. Yeah, I thought he would have gone back to TNA and had a good run there and go back to, you know, Trevor Lee and all that. But
as it looks like up next, I guess the press conference might be threaded through the show.
Which is even more interesting. Like, that's a unique way to do that. I thought it would have been more of you have them there. They kind of are hyping up each other's matches. Like you see it like the UFC and everything, to where they've got the fighters up on stage and they kind of get in each other's face and have a bit of an argument and everything. You're selling us on the card.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to get it to a point where, you know, you have something for everyone to dig into. But yeah,
right. Well, C Money's saying he loved it, but I don't know. I didn't hear enough of it because obviously we're talking to really make heads or tails of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Eco letting us know he's back to Trevor Lee. Well, what has MLW? He's facing Riddle. Well, thank you, Rashad. So see, there you go.
There you go.
Right. So multiple people confirming. So there were, But so we're already in commercial break number 2, folks. But Don, he may be all ego on screen, but off screen, he is a very, very humble, polite person. I truly enjoyed his interview with Chris Van Fleet.
Canadian.
Every polite person is just Canadian. 2
good Canadians. Van Vliet's Canadian too, so
he's Canadian too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Van Fleet sounds like some. Yeah, he looks like a guy that would be Canadian somehow. Y'all got to look to
right. He's just smiling all the time. Trevor Lee or Jack Perry? There's a good question. As we are on commercial break, I see 111 people. Keep it coming, folks.
Right.
Trevor.
Who would you take?
I think Trevor Lee overall is a better performer. I liked his work in TNA. I thought there was something they could do with him in NXT or the main roster. I think, again, he got drafted by, you know, at a time where Vince was still around. So, yeah, I mean, Jack Perry has moments, but overall, I think Trevor Lee is a better overall professional wrestler.
Yeah, right now, I would take Trevor Lee, Cameron Grimes. Christ, when he was over and got the whole to the moon gimmick over, he was untouchable. And then they randomly just kept switching up his gimmick. They shaved him all naked for some reason and everything. They were just making him a heel, making him a face. It just kind of went all over the place. And like you said, he was a victim of still being in the Vince era. Like, I bet you, well, yeah, because he got released around that whole transition and everything.
Yeah.
So if he could come back, I think it would be well served.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those guys that if he can go out there and kind of do his thing, do the work. I mean, even Riddle goes on the record as saying, like, I'm pretty confident I'm going to go back to the dub. So
no, he won't.
He might know something we don't, or it's just high talk with Riddle. But
well, to me, it'd be more. It's like a Mustafa Ali. Like, I almost anticipate or would really like to see Mustafa go back and everything because he's recently finished up with TNA. We kind of don't know what he's going to do now. Him going back to me wouldn't be a bad shout. And he's a guy that We've seen it with Cardona, like teasing the Rumble spots of gone out there, made a name for themselves outside of WWE. So you come back at an even higher value.
Yeah, 100%. And we've seen it happen before. I know the WWE is not opposed to it, but again, it does feel better. I'd rather a guy like Trevor Lee be able to go out there and work and work on his craft and get TV time or get ring time, and not just be one of a slew of people that are just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs.
Looking at you, Miro.
The Miro story is interesting, bro. He's gonna be a guy that when the dust settles, he's gonna say all the things. Like, he can't wait.
He's gonna drop the CM Punk Colt Cabana,
Right.
podcast and everything. Everyone's gonna want to hear what he has to say about all of it.
They wanted me to do Jack Perry job. No.
Yeah, he cut promos like the Iron Sheik out there. And I said, Hak Tui.
Yeah, not happening, not having it. So as we're coming back out of commercial break, I do believe the Waller effect is coming up next, folks. So again,
we got Punk backstage with Je'Von Evans.
How the fuck do you keep ending up like a couple seconds
I literally didn't touch nothing. I talk with my hands, so I'm Italian, so you can see my hands are constantly up in the air. Yeah.
Punk back with Je'Von now. So yeah, about 10 seconds there.
Let me know when you get him talking to Trick.
Here comes Trick. Interesting. Punk spent a lot of time in NXT.
There's still the outgoing theory that at some point you have Triple H move up even beyond this. You have, Shawn slide up into another position, and then you have CM Punk pretty much take Shawn's spot.
Okay. Yeah, there's been talks of that, and I could see that. Again, I do believe that, it was very important for Punk is very aware of the story that surrounds him. And right. I think he 100% wanted to correct that.
Well, 100%. And especially he's really living up to what he had talked about of, wanting to help people, like what he said he was trying to do in AEW that no one wanted to listen to. And that's when we get, the empty-headed dumb fuck statements and everything. That he's proving it, and he can actually show it on camera because he's showing up in NXT. He's sitting there talking with talent. There's pictures of him backstage. Christ, I saw somebody floating around a picture of Larry sitting in the chair at Gorilla.
Okay. Some love.
Right. Well, because he's going to be the special guest referee between him and Ethan Page next week.
Right. Yeah, 100%. But again, very much on the babyface side of things at the moment. So we'll see how this all plays out. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The Waller effect in the house, A-Town down in the ring. And sorry, Theory, I only put Waller on the graphic. Tough shit.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting you. Punk with a Jade Cargill shirt as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's funny because there is still such a large contingent of people out there that refuse to believe that Punk is anything but trouble. But you see people like Jade who, when she saw him, there's that infamous video of running over and hugging him and being thrilled that they were both in the same company again.
Right. Well, you've even had Starks, who's clearly not happy with his position right now with AEW. That's been openly positive about CM Punk was trying to help as much as he could backstage and everything. And MDB thinking that the Jade shirt's just a little extra salt in the wound.
Ah.
The man that beat John Cena at WrestleMania. People forget about that.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's a very good point.
Is losing the NXT tag belts finally push Theory to turn on Waller?
Well, I don't know.
That to me, no. That to me should not be the case. You're really putting over the NXT tag belts if that's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
If they lose to Fraxium and then he's like, I've had enough.
Yeah, if that's the point that makes him split of I've had it, I'm saying you, because they lose to Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose the actual tag belts to
Yep.
say, you know, the bloodline, or you lose to the Judgment Day, what have you. Maybe you lose the NXT belts. You're getting mad over spilled milk at that point.
Yeah, and it's funny because Fraxium very much the same way, where they were teasing, and they kind of like, we're better together, champs, cheers, like, so it's funny. No real
Yeah.
fear, but I like this comment here: MCMG, Axiom, and Frazier, yes, please. I think that would be the move. They win in 2 weeks in St. Louis, and MCMG could pop up at that moment to be like, we're next. We got next.
Oh, yeah. I think that's 100% could happen. I think we could even see that essentially happen in Chicago. Axiom and Frazier have been one of the best tag teams in WWE at this point. And yeah, it's interesting that you pointed out, because I hadn't really thought about it a ton, of how both teams kind of have that whole, is someone going to turn on someone kind of story going.
Right. That's it. It's always kind of there. And I mean, again, I think, does it add a little realism of like, no different than you and I on this channel? There's days where we butt heads, and there's days where we're fucking rocking and rolling. Like,
right.
But it's like, oh, they're breaking up, but no, they just, they're in a rut. And we saw that with Fraxium, of they seemed like they were having some troubles, and then they were like, all right, we got this, and they've been champs again, and they've kind of been impressive. I really, as much as we tease them for being not Man and Robin, they've come a long way, and they've had banger after banger for my money.
100%. But chair out here with your favorite name of mid-card jobbers, the Douche Canoes.
The Douche Canoes.
So I saw Ric Flair is getting divorced again. What has he have more of, world titles or ex-wives? Somehow still surprisingly world titles.
It's neck and neck. It's getting there. How much alimony can one man pay? Is it a record? Does he hold the Guinness record of like most alimony paid to the most amount of people ever? Was his wife 5, 4?
5, I believe.
I mean, at some point, just stop getting married. Like, just, you can live with someone, you can love someone. Why do you keep marrying these people?
Well, he's the wheel and deal, and everybody was lining up for a ride on Space Mountain.
Right. All right, it'll just come out like in 2 weeks that he found some 25-year-old and life's good. He on that Ric Flair trip, those woo wings, and she's loving it.
Yeah. She comes out in a woo wings shirt and everything.
Right. She on that woo wings money.
Oh, right. Yeah. Got that, Ric Flair drip money.
Right. Okay.
Theory's actually not bad being fired up here of, set him up because we take him down.
It almost looks like Waller has like their script on the phone. Like, here you go, bro.
Oh yeah, why do you have your phone out? Like, because I know they've done it at times to where they've done it to where like they're actually like streaming it.
Yeah. Fraxium do destroy teams ironically. Isn't it ironic? This is boring. Chair. There's no flaming tables. Why are they doing this? It's not the most exciting shit, but it's not terrible.
Right. This is making me chuckle. We getting wooing money. We getting wooing money.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, just stop getting married. Just wheel and deal. Why do you keep trying to settle down? We know you're not going to. And you're fucking
nice. You got to have someone to bail him out.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, all right. Frazier going, why is it called the Waller effect, not the A-Town Waller? Why is it not both?
Sowing the seeds of ascension, and Denise reminding us, yes, Waller does live stream.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's live on IG.
Like they were like reading the phone of like.
Yeah, it's one of those like when you're cheating on a test, so you keep looking down, like, well, what are you doing?
Right. So now Theory and Waller are kind of arguing. I started the show before we were a team. It was my show before I met you. I still love you, but like shit.
Right.
We're fighting. Wow. As Waller and Theory just outright laid out the champion. I like
Could
that
they?
what they did there though, because we were just talking about it. Are they going to break up?
Yeah. Well, and could they have a bit of a run with the NXT tag belts and everything? Like when we saw Dolph won the world title for a bit and everything like that. Just kind of you have them pop down, do a little bit, and then kind of heats them up, what have you, keeps them occupied, and then bring them back up in a quick minute.
Right.
Oh, we got Aura and Lexus King, and man looks like he's got a weapon from Mortal Kombat on the side of his jaw with this goddamn beard.
Again, it's like AI beard. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I feel like I want to do the Pat Stay line of I don't even want to battle you, dude. I want to just know how you did it. You got a hooking too, bro. Look at you go. I just want to know the physics. Normally I scratch my head, but this got me doing this shit. You got a hooking too, bro. Look at you go.
That's actually perfect. Someone needs to take a picture of like almost put Lexus King's face in that video.
And Hollow the Dawn. I just want to know how you did it.
Right. Chair said waste of time. Ultimately, I don't think that segment ends up being a waste of time because it's planting the seeds of the breakup. You might not like the people involved, but again, it's something for the tag team. It wasn't the most oh my god moment or anything, but again, it serves its purpose, and they're trying to build up for a big show in 2 weeks.
You build up to the match, you build up, you make it make sense, and you get the story going, and it sows the seeds and the tension and dissension between Waller and Fury, so you get that narrative still cooking. As we got Hank and Tank all fired up. I need a Hank and Tank like jersey. I know we got our own merch and everything, which shout out to the lovely F Meltzer shirts. 100% helping build the foundation for the center for Meltzers who can't read good. But I need me a Hank and Tank jersey. It's very like AC/DC and Public Enemy vibe.
Yeah, folks, just get your predictions in for this one. I think that's hilarious. Is Hong Kong? I don't know what that's referring to, but
Hong Kong and Goose.
Yeah, get your predictions in on the upcoming tag match. This should be a fun one, folks. And again, Hank and Tank has found a way to get themselves over. They become a lot of fun. This is a team where it looks like if you're trying to build up the tag team division, they could be in the mix.
Oh, 100%. Like we get a Motor City Machine Guns versus Hank and Tank. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely. And again, the main roster tag team division's thin enough that Hank and Tank could make their way in there.
Right. Well, it's funny you still got, like I said, we've got them taking on the Good Brothers, who were drafted to SmackDown, by the way. There's our SmackDown competitors that have never touched a SmackDown locker room since they've gotten drafted there that, are down here and going on. So 100% Hank and Tank could slide in there. Bradley becoming a member for 11 months. Cheers, my guy. And saying a toast to the last NXT on the USA. Any favorite memories? I mean, any NXT memory pretty much since they've been outside of the network would be on USA.
When they stopped doing 2.0 was a pretty good memory for me.
Yeah, that's a great memory.
It's interesting. A lot of talk about what Adam Cole's doing, and people are wondering again. I know why they're wondering it because somebody from the WWE made a comment about him. But ideas that could Adam Cole eyeball a return to the WWE as it was his best booking of his career?
Is WWE at a landscape though? I know Hunter's there. I know Sean's in charge of NXT. Where does he slot in if he went up? Like when he was done with WWE was when he was jumping to the main roster. Does he slot in with a Roman, with a Gunther, with a Cody? Like where does he go there?
Well, the tricky part with Adam Cole is you got to sell him a certain way, because if you like we just saw with Cody and Roman, imagine that was Roman Adam Cole, and Roman's like 85 pounds heavier and overall bigger than Adam Cole by a substantial amount. You have that wide shot, and it looks like, Cole might not.
What are we doing? Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're gonna go finish. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but if you sell Cole on a certain way of the right type of heel, there is a way to make stuff like that work, right? So I like Adam Cole, big fan of Adam Cole. I popped huge when AEW got him. I just feel like he's another example of a guy that peaked before he got there and cooled off since he's been there.
Yeah, but that's based on everything that they've done with that booking. But yeah, he would have to go back to NXT. Like you'd almost have to start over with him, I feel. A little bit. You have him show up, like it would be an insane pop. He shows up in NXT. It's all about that boom.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. And he's going after the world title. He goes against an Ethan Page. But I think that might almost at this point be his cap.
As we are back from commercial, Blonde Ambition hanging out together, having a chit chat.
Well, Ashante the Adonis just trying to, give a flower to anybody out here.
We're a few weeks into Ashante doing this. Has it worked at all for you yet? Or does it just feel dumb?
Yes and no, because it's kind of just at least it's a gimmick, at least it's a thing with him. It's kind of they at least play it into like the matches and everything, and it's a nice way to get a wide pan shot of the women's locker room and everything. It's almost getting the women over more than it is him.
Fair enough.
But beyond that, like that's not a sustainable gimmick. Like you're not gonna be constantly out there, trying to be ladies' man and everything.
Yeah, at what point do you become it becomes the harasser?
You saw it with Los Lobos, Los Lotharios.
Yeah, it only went so far.
Right. And there was 2 of them doing that.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
I've got Hank and Tank out right now. As I like somebody said it in the chat. I want to see if I can find it, but they said, I'll take, the Seth Rogen and Bill DeMott, lookalikes for the win.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad.
So, folks, let us know who you're taking right now, whether you're taking Hank and Tank, you're taking the Good Brothers for the win in this tag team match. Playa. Holla, holla, holla.
Yeah, who do you got? I'm checking the poll. Hey, a pretty even split. I mean, Hank and Tank leading by 60-ish% on the votes on the poll right now, folks. So not bad.
Right. We're selling them. We're getting them over 100%. We're going to be, their whole fan base. We're going to start the Hank and Tank fan club.
Mm-hmm.
Chris saying, I'm behind this Adonis trying to be Latino heat gimmick.
Okay. I mean, we got to find a way to get it into the ring a little bit for my money, and he hasn't really done much there. So in time, I suppose. But right now, he just week in and week out shows up and harasses people and then doesn't do much else.
Yeah, honestly, go away. Get the pepper spray. Right. Don't let him in the locker room. Golfer, Festus will win.
Festus, let's go. But I will close the poll. Yeah, Hank and Tank, 59%. So not exactly running away with the situation.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, still, you expect a guy like a team like the Good Brothers to be up there. Like we're talking about the decline of tag team wrestling. It feels across the board in pro wrestling. And you have a team like the Good Brothers that used to be one of the top tag teams globally, and now are in NXT. We need to focus on this, division here a bit, Hunter. Nick should Luke Gallows his beard for Halloween. Don't give my wife any ideas. 100% she'd been waiting to do something like that with my beard. It was just turning into a Viking.
Hilarious.
Oh, I bet you if I could do it right and everything, I could tame this, Luke Harper main down. She'll probably do it. So we'll see. The Nick Good Brothers wearing shorts. What is this?
The Good Brothers wearing shorts. It's hot. What can we do?
It's the middle of September, my guy. It's fall. It's like we're right after Labor Day.
I don't know where you are in the world, but it doesn't feel like fall yet to me.
I'm in New Hampshire. I'm somehow no, I know, I get that, but I'm saying I'm not that far away from you, but it's like 60s out for me, my guy. Like it's sweater weather now.
No, we've been seasonably high in this neck of the woods, and it's running gag
in more ways than one.
It's crazy. sweating still.
Right. Oh, Chris saying this is like Public Enemy versus the Dudley style type
Right.
match. A little bit of a walk and brawl. Little just everybody's getting whipped into the corners right now, but I've got Carl Anderson and Tank going at it.
Bum, 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 bum.
RM girls 51 here. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, who's 51? But you're letting you know the temperature. It's 90 in Cali. Well, it's also California.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ.
65 in New York. It's pouring rain right now. It's not. We're in the weathermen now. It's 90 in Atlanta with a big threat of. Oh yes, T's and B's, my guy. I know you're going out to the TNA tapings and all of that, and going to Bad Blood and everything. But yeah, 100% of Hurricane. Christ, I can't even try to remember the name. Helena or something like that. I think is hitting Georgia.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
B hockey, my God. It actually might not be too far away from me. Sweater weather here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Hockey time behind Harvard Yard. As Hank right now just body blows to Carl Anderson in the corner here.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. I was right.
It's currently 64 degrees here.
So see, you and your getting Celsius and shit and everything.
Well, that's Fahrenheit. I did it Fahrenheit for y'all.
Oh, okay.
I think Spaz, 27 Celsius, about 65 Fahrenheit.
There
you go. Vance is with it. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Where are you, Scooby-Doo?
I have no idea. I got Hank going into the corner.
I have him up on the top rope.
He's climbing the top.
Here I have him about to eat a superplex.
Oh, eats a kick instead. Oh, now he's going to eat the superplex. Again, I think Machine Gun has been a little underrated in his time in WWE because, man, the guy can go. Singles or tag.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, Christ, he was, out there killing it too when he was in New Japan as a singles guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were going to get Dream Killer. Blind tag to Tank. Oh, Hank's got Gallows up.
This is a hell of a match. It's been fun.
1, 2. I just got the finish.
Boom. Nice move. I like that finisher.
Oh, yeah. The like power slam, like shoulder barge tackles.
Yeah, not bad. But Hank and Tank with the W, folks.
Absolutely. See, and they're getting over, my guy. They're moving them up there. Could we get, Hank and Tank with the NXT tag team titles?
They could definitely be in the mix, 100%. Again, like you said, they're getting over. People are liking them. Another team that we've recently seen kind of throw together is we got Cedric and Je'Von. Might not be a bad decision for the next little while to kind of keep them rocking and rolling. But we do know Je'Von's going to take on RKO. Yeah,
and again, all due respect and everything, but is that a little bit of like HBK just playing universe mode and everything on 2K24 of like Randy Orton versus Je'Von Evans? Who would have ever had that ever in the history of Everdom?
No, I would say it's a big surprise, but at the same time, I do think it's going to be a fun match, and I think Je'Von's going to take an epic, photo fucking worthy RKO at some point. He's going to get caught, fucking Bourne style, and we're going to posterize him a little bit, but it's fun. It's good for the kid. It's good for Orton, but yeah, a bit of a holy shit. Who saw that coming?
It gets it over for St. Louis, and it really, they've strapped a rocket to this kid, but yeah, he'll 100%, like if he ends up in the Hall of Fame or forever video package, will feature, whatever bump that Je'Von Evans takes during that RKO.
Yeah.
As I got Lexus sliding out right now. He's such a guy that still like would have worked 100% back in like the 90s because he's straight out of like in Motley Crue
Right.
and all of that. Like I'm sure he's like Bubba Ray. He's probably Busted Open's probably favorite wrestler because of how much he's like just hair metal rock style.
Right. You're not wrong. I mean, again, it's interesting, and he's showing a little more personality, a little more charisma. We'll see. I mean, I still think there's work to be done with him. I don't think he's a lost cause the way some people have pegged him, but he's definitely got a long ways to go in my books.
He's Bret Michaels mixed with Vince Neil. Yeah, 100%.
Right.
As
Speaking of the 80s and the nostalgia, we're getting an ad for Saturday Night Main Event.
Right. 44 Talk saying, seems like nowadays the Good Brothers have been reduced to utility guys, aka enhancement talent. Yeah, pretty much. They're a team that's good enough and has a name enough that they still get guys over.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that at all.
Yeah, OC are there to put guys over. What happened to AJ? He's just not getting used. He's much like Nakamura. I saw a whole thing. Somebody was putting something out of how WWE's just not using Nakamura. And I get it and I don't get it at the same time. Like, you have the opportunity. You have the star-studded lineup and everything. You could still use them in some form or fashion.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, everyone has a role, and I know a lot of people get very hypercritical about wins and losses, but it's wrestling. And I mean, we finally find a way. And I think once we get the OC or the Good Brothers I'm hoping they all kind of come back together at some point and have some meaningful kind of love on the main roster.
Right. No, he was doing the matches in Japan, and then they since came back overseas.
Yeah.
Spaz saying Cody's tattoo guy does the King's facial hair. Rocco saying fun Jey Uso fact. September 23rd, 2013. He was first guy to ever pin Roman. September 23rd, 2024 wins IC title. Coincidence? I think not.
Funny how things work out, folks.
Right? I think he should replace the Good Brothers with some younger talent. Yeah, I'm sure that AJ, who's in his like 50s or so now,
in his twilight,
wants to not hang out with his friends wherever he goes and just wants like some like 2 20-year-olds behind him the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think he at this point in his career, he's about to kind of go out with the people he came in with, kind of idea.
Again,
we're not going to go through major change ups again, unless there's some idea for this Bullet Club. We know Hikaleo's apparently somehow on the NXT roster at this point, so maybe.
John C. NXT starting to lose direction, or they are trying to reboot for CW. At this point, I don't think anything's too really off the radar with anything. Like, they haven't diverted too much.
I'm confused. What would make us think that the NXT has lost their direction? I'm curious where that take comes from, because I think they're on point right now. They're doing fine. Do you feel like they've, like, I don't know what context lost direction comes from.
Yeah, well, to me, the most I would have thought of if you were talking about, like, say tonight, of like you gear down before you jump to another network or whatever, but like even then, I don't know if you'd exactly want to do that when this is your essential go home show for what's theoretically a mini takeover with their debut on CW. So you'd want to ramp up to it. I don't think that they've lost direction just because they're switching networks or anything.
No, and I mean, again, I don't expect much huge tonight because I expect a lot of big things over the next 2 weeks, right? So that's kind of like, this is a bit of the pullback before the release.
As I like to do in the pibbity popcorn player.
Right.
But folks, let us know here taking whether you're taking Aura Mensah or you're taking Lexus King right now. Or is a guy that surprisingly has gotten a bit of a push. Like, Noam Dar not being around has really helped Aura Mensah's career.
Yeah, he actually stepped up in a big way. We saw him kind of going after Ethan when he first came in.
Right.
Showing some, you know, he reminds
Chutzpah,
me
a
a
little
little,
chutzpah.
yeah, a little young, you know, a young Kofi, a little bit in that way.
Right. Shoulder bars by Lexus. Who you taking, sir? Who you taking? You taking the beard or
Ah,
Aura?
this is a tough one. This is really a tough one because I know the chat's sitting about 70% on King right now. I'll go Aura just because I like him better.
Fair enough. I was almost honestly, I was gonna do damn near the same. I'll take Lexus just to be difficult, but this to me really could go either way.
Yeah, again, a really tough, nice move. Really tough one to call.
Both kind of need it. I mean, Aura got a good bit of momentum and everything when he was going against Ethan, but clearly lost that feud. And Lexus definitely needs a win right now. He's kind of just been floating there.
Yeah, Lexus kind of been lost in the mix. Hasn't had anything really to dig into. No big wins that we can think of. As right now, yeah. So the press conference kind of threaded through the show.
Interesting.
Not what I expected, but definitely a less boring way to do it, perhaps.
Is it a way that you're kind of circumventing commercial breaks? What have you? Will
Right?
we have the press conference instead?
Yeah, perhaps.
So John answer you say, meaning some of the stories are not as focused as I believe they should be. Well, fair enough. That's different than they
Okay.
lost
Okay.
direction.
Okay.
Context is king, but I
Yeah.
can slightly agree with that. Of they're probably letting some stuff kind of float out here, and then they'll tighten everything back down once they get to CW.
Yeah, you know, definitely potential in that for sure.
Right. Oh, MDB, loud hair versus loud beard in this match.
Loud. Yeah, there you go. Nice back body drop or backbreaker. Sorry.
Right. For Lexus King has a lot of potential. He does 100%. And it's just they got to figure out how to get to it, I guess. We thought that he was going to instantly jump into this and that, and he's kind of just been mid the whole way through.
Yeah. Yeah, it just again, I think there was a lot of development that still needed to take place for King, and people were expecting him to kind of come out of the gate firing because of where he came from, but it kind of goes to show you there's a level of caution when it comes to the signing, the free agents coming in. Unless you're older or have an established name, it's a hard sell.
Are you still surprised they didn't do the Pillman thing?
I'm a little surprised. And they purposely went out of their way to buck that, right? Like they're like, we're not addressing this in any way, shape, or form right now. So
Well,
it's a little surprising.
well, and I think he actively asked to not do that. I think that was part of what hurt him in AEW. Of you already with something like that, you already put a level of expectation on it.
Yeah, no, you got a very strong point there.
As Mensah firing up right now, and Jobson out here ruining everybody's night with saying first measurable snow just fell in New York State. Boo earns. Get this guy out of here. He's a bad guy. He's talking about snow. Two go. Jobson taking Lexus. Art King saying he really hasn't shown me anything. Like in ring, he's talented. Character wise and everything, I still don't fully get exactly like who Lexus King is.
Two. Wait,
Oh,
what? Oh, wait a minute. So Lexus King goes to cheat, takes his feet off the rope, and says, "I'm not winning like that." So Earl says, "I'll do it." Stupid. There you go, folks. I don't know how I feel about that. The heel has a moment of fucking morality, and then the baby face technically says, "I got you." Yeah.
Is it a babyface turn?
I guess. See, this is where we're confused.
maybe it could be the start of it. I mean, you've got, if that's a way, if you're going to do it, it's a way to try and do it.
Right. But folks, up next, we got Ridge, Holland, Riley, Osborne going to go 1-on-1. So get your predictions in on that one. Should be very interesting. This whole Chase U thing is very interesting. And I'm not sure what we're doing with Lexus King at all.
Right. B Hockey's just going off on one here, I guess.
How's B Hockey doing? Let's talk to B.
Well, he's been going out about everything with Jey Uso. Not happy that Jey Uso is the IC champ, but Lexus doesn't need a character. Jay doesn't have one, and he's IC champ.
Do like B Hockey? Do you put blinders on when Jey Uso comes out? Do you not see the entire 10,000 people like fucking losing their mind? Have you not heard his promos where everybody's eating with him? What more personality could this man give you? I don't. What personality are you missing? Again, I mean, I'm all ears, but geez, the evidence is real strong against that.
Personality, character, and everything like that. The man sat there and sold it out of how he's, broke off on his own. Christ, it's forever burned into my brain when he's out there, deuces. Christ, I sat there and said it backwards. Yeah. But yeah, the man's out there 100%, and the crowd reaction, the response to everybody. I saw so many different wrestlers that were out there saying, congrats, Jay. Congrats, Jay. You earned it. You deserve it. 100%. The man's been at it for 14 years and has just established himself as a fucking stud of a talent, as a singles competitor, on top of being one of the best tag teams of all time.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's hard to overlook the fact that, again, arguably my vote for the WWE's best tag team, at least of the last 20 years. They've killed it. And again, tons of personality, all the fun stuff with Sammy, a big storyline. And I think B Hockey is in a small minority of people who are not, happy with this. It's the sticker is for boomers
who think they're doing something hip. Yeah, that's why, the entire crowd, honestly, I know I referenced Battle Bars before, but is this man deaf? Can this man hear? The whole crowd was losing their mind. They sat there and they cut it off and sat there and still showed it to where Jey Uso's gotten a whole emotional promo and everything like that. To where, like I said, there's been an outcry and an outpour of people being positive about this. The reaction to him winning was insane. To sit there, we're just doing it because we're hipping and or hopping with the bipping and the bopping. No.
And again, I think that if you look, I mean, how many boomers are walking around saying yeet? Let's fucking take our fucking, a second to think and go, you might not like Jey Uso, that's fine, but you can't ignore the evidence in front of you. That's called
okay, it's for children like Super John Cena. Okay, so which one is it? So now you're pivoting because now you don't know what to do because you just, you're switching your arguments here.
Yeah. So again, we can move the target all we want. The fact is, when he's in the building, 10,000 large go nuts. Last night when he won, he was in the crowd with a tear in his eyes and the fan losing their fucking mind. That's how you get over. And again, for some fans out there, just doing cool moves in front of nobody is good enough. Nah, he's over as fuck and deal with it.
Right. You even got Boston. Jay is fine in the ring. He's good at telling a story. He's good on the mic. Just because I don't like the yeet thing doesn't mean I can't recognize all the good he does. 100%. Yeah, you cannot. Boomer and children have similar amounts of brain cells. All right, B Hockey. I think you're just salty spittoon of I don't like Jey Uso, so I'm gonna just sit there and say everything's bad because he's bad man.
Stop clicking on it. He'll go away. Guys, where are we going now?
Well, we're getting the Tony D'Angelo. Did you see to where they pretty much pointed it out of the family last week? Damn near quoted an entire scene from Rocky 3, I believe it was. They quoted a whole Rocky movie. Yeah. Did the whole promo and everything. Now this is 100% what we're doing is he's out here in the garage, in the gray sweats as he's setting up to take on Oma. This I really like Tony. I don't know what they do with him. Like at this point, like he's good. He's, but he's a
Interrupt.
mid
I
card
think,
guy at best.
yeah, but I think coming out of this, he's going straight to a belt and he's going to be successful. Or else he's dead in the water. Like if you're gonna do this whole thing, like look, they're going through this big workout. He's not I mean, again, there is something there with Tony. My only problem with him at times is it feels like an Italian guy pretending to be Italian, which is weird. Like you're Italian, just be you. But
Right?
overall, I think if you're gonna build like this, the rebuilding, the Rocky montage that we're getting right now has to lead to success.
100%. Well, I can't even say. I think you just got me excited because you're bigging up Rockies and Italians and everything like that. So you got me all excited for it. But who's he? Does he beat Oba? Like he takes the belt off of Oba.
Oh, I don't know, man. I can't see anybody beating Oba.
Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies.
Right? It's a tough sell, man.
He's literally out here boxing.
That is a tough sell for me.
That's what I'm saying. I like Tony. I don't know what they can do with him. Like he's good, but he's not dethroning Oba. Oba is going to be one of those like an Oscar of thank you, or like just look at HBK or Ava. I'm sorry, I broke your toy when he just hands the belt back to them and everything. Tony ain't winning that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What do you do?
I'm a sucker for a Paisan story, 100% as a Paisan for myself, but 100% Tony's not going over Oba.
No, I don't see anybody going over Oba. It's such a tough sell, Nick.
Yeah, so in St. Louis, we're getting Tony taking on Oba, and it's the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it works.
And if you build it up and build it up and build it up, and if he comes back and loses, then what?
That's the big issue too.
Right?
There, you got the Oberberg.
Now, is there a way that you could maybe have the family all work together and Oba gets cheated out of his belt? Maybe.
Then, well, Tony's supposed to be the babyface in this match, so then you just do a double turn to where Tony have to turn the heel and then Oba turn face,
right? All right, folks, we got Ridge Holland coming out. He will be taking on Riley Osborne, and Riley jump starts it literally.
Right?
What a talk for that one.
Oba might shift to the main title, Shadow Keyshawn of Well, that's what I've seen a lot of people even talk about with. I know we talked about Jay, but with Braun Breaker, some people think that he might turn face and now go towards Gunther.
Yeah, it's got potential. You're not wrong with that at all.
Right?
Yeah, again, I just think Oba has so much ahead of him, and maybe they fast track him. Maybe they skip a few steps, or he's not around here as long as we thought he would be. Maybe.
I like this. So, Oba, what's your prediction for the fight?
Bird.
There's bigger plans for Oba. Yes, but I think we're still getting there. I think we're still getting there.
Right.
Oba and Rumble, perhaps. But folks, let us know who you're taking. Right? Ooh, go ahead.
Well, I could see Oba like making a guest appearance in the Royal Rumble. I mean, again, they've been kind of high on what he's up to, right?
Right. 100%. And even then, still, just because you pop up in the Rumble doesn't mean you're getting called up. You could just pop in for a spot.
Mm-hmm.
But Riley with a drop kick to the back of Ridge, ducks him into the corner, 2 count. But folks, let us know who you're taking for this match, whether you're taking Ridge Holland or Riley Osborne. As he's going up the Chase U Tower like this is Mortal Kombat. So he's got to beat Riley before he can get to Shao Kahn. Over in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Next big feud, Oba and Moose battle over who has the better entrance. I'd rather see Oba versus Moose than I would Oba versus Tony again, respectfully.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Holy crap. That's their call, not mine.
Right? Holy crap, he's a crap.
Holy crap.
I still think Ridge will always be Walmart Brock Lesnar. No, that's Parker Boudreaux. He's the Timu Lesnar. Oh, as Ridge, did he just kind of do like an air raid crash through the barricade? Does the barricade spots on NXT seem that impressive now when they just kind of fall like all of like 2 feet? Like my chair can probably lean back about as far as the barricade falls back before it hits the kind of stanchions and everything.
You're not wrong.
Riley. Oh, the little like straight jacket DDT is Ridge makes short work of Riley Osborne.
As he should. There you go.
You if you're gonna do it, he goes through this is the tower game like you talked about. If you beat this, then you go to now. Do you do him versus Andre, or do you have him versus Duke first?
Right. Who's a bigger challenge? Andre
Duke,
or Duke?
Duke. Right. Duke's same stature, is a talented ass wrestler.
Oh, here we go. 100%. Here we go. So Ridge laying out Riley and continuing it. I wonder if we get any further action here.
Thea Hale jumps on everybody else and everything like that. Will backpack everybody. But for whatever reason with Ridge, she won't go full squirrel tactics.
Right? Won't go full squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, he's grabbing the piece of the barricade. Oh. You're sitting there. Oh, she's going to take a bump right now. You watch. She's going to. Oh. Riley getting the better of Ridge right now. So this is not good. If you beat the guy and then he gets the better of you in the beatdown afterwards, like, so you negated everything.
Well, it just means like it gives me a to be continued vibe, which I don't love. Oh, he just got the ref. Okay, I don't quite get it, but we go to Twitter and we go to the Miz.
Right. I don't like
they're
that.
They're gonna do a contract signing on Miz TV between Oba and Tony next week.
Okay. So Tony's going through the table, or at least Stacks is.
Somebody is. Maybe Stacks. You might be right on Stacks.
Right. But I don't like that. Ridge goes over Riley, then you turn around, you have the beatdown, you have it to where he looks like he's going to decimate him. He's going to take him out. We think he's going to get. We were out here arguing, does he face Andre or does he face Duke next? But instead, Riley comes back, gets the better of him, so we're just going to probably run this match back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're doing a split screen up with Zachary and Wes coming up.
Right. We're doing a picture-in-picture.
Well, remember, folks, we are in commercial break. We will be back tomorrow. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, as we are in Grand Slam week. A stacked night as far as, holy shit, there's a lot going on, a lot booked. We will see how it turns out. We are here on Thursday, Friday for SmackDown and Rampage, and then we're here on the weekend for some fun stuff as well. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, be a part of the family, and don't forget, get your T-shirts. We actually have a Brunch with the Boys coming up, and our Brunch with the Boys limited edition T-shirt is still available. On the back, it's got a list of all the tour dates that we hit Brunch with the Boys in 2024, the summer of 2024. So get your merch, get your goodies, and be a part of the family, and make sure you be a friend, tell a friend for all the fun stuff. But lots coming up, Nick.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we will have content out and everything with that. We will be talking about the Vince documentary that
Thank you.
comes out and everything. We were literally just trying to figure out, like, so does it come out at midnight tonight or like midnight tomorrow? Like, yeah. And this is going to be a really big, like, prepare. If you have Twitter, if you have any social media app, just prepare for unlimited notifications coming up when it
Right.
comes to wrestling, because a storm called the Vince McMahon documentary is about to make fucking land here.
Right. Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. Vince already got out ahead of it with Damage Control, and they're making me look bad, and they took
I
liberties.
saw somebody say he tried to buy it before they.
That's apparently true. Now, I can't confirm or deny it, as I was not part of the negotiation, but yeah, rumor is he tried to buy it back. Like, give me it.
Fuck you. You can't have this. I'm going to lose my case. Well, and you do have to still remember when this was filmed and everything. This was filmed, obviously a time ago and everything. But it's still going through a whole lot of interesting aspects and everything. I saw one channel that I follow, shout out OSW Review, that pointed out Netflix couldn't even get right how many ring ropes a wrestling ring has, but they're normally pretty solid with documentaries. So take that for what you will.
True. Yeah, I mean, again, it'll be very interesting to take on it. And we know there's always a slant to sell a story. I know Vince's concern was like, even if you see the trailer, but the trailer is going to make you think that anyway to pull you in, right?
100%. That's what it is. The trailer's meant to sell your ass to sit there and buy a seat.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we will have that, as well as we will be here tomorrow night for AW Grand Slam. I'm still super excited for Nigel versus Danielson. We still don't know technically if Danielson's actually going to have the match.
Well, you got to now.
Well, I've seen people that have sat there and thrown out, I think it was Sportskeeda with their terrible clickbait shit, that threw out the idea of he shows up and just costs Moxley. So he interferes in the match that he should have been having to screw over the guy that took him out before, so he can set up the title match with the guy he should have been in the match fighting. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about any of that.
Yeah, again, it's just terrible clickbait, but that whole thing is still interesting, of the fact that he's going to wrestle on the card, but not in the match that he should have been initially having, because that's all gotten replaced and all of that. And I think they could have done and should have done a better job on Dynamite last week of at least he comes out and accepts the challenge. So you know what's going to happen. You're fucking excited for it. He cuts a fiery ass promo for it versus just 2 minutes of a video package.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Did you see WWE, as I've got Oba talking now in the press conference? God damn, he looks like a fucking monster still.
Yeah, I think
he needs to be out there taking on Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, I think it was Justin, might have said like he's not quite feeling Oba yet, but I can't help but feel this guy's got such a bright future. Again, like, he's a guy that walks in and if he was to go face to face with a Braun Breaker, face to face with Bronson Reed, no one's going to bat an eyelash at. He's going to give him a battle.
He has the presence. He has for all the boomers out there, be hockey and everything. He has an aura and all that. Right. He's yeeting everywhere, but yeah, no, he's 100%. He conveys of a guy who's a top guy, who's a top talent, who's somebody that is not to be fucked with and everything.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I did like. I mean, he came out as a big, obviously he's a physical kind of specimen. He's this big dude. He's jacked. But then all of a sudden he started coming out with like on his toes with a bounce and an attitude.
And a swag.
Yeah.
That what, as we're about to get Wesley and Zachary Wentz, but did you see WWE copyright striked AEW on the Nigel video?
No, shut up.
It's briefly, there was somebody that had a screenshot going around, so I can't fully confirm it, but they copyright striked AEW for a little bit of Nigel footage and everything in the video. So it just, and it's now since it's gone back to being fine and everything, but they were just being petty bitches. And sometimes it's fun to be a petty bitch.
Time out. AEW has been infamous for being petty bitches on the copyright thing.
Don Stevens, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, Don Stevens. So if that's why I got pumped of like, if somebody actually ding them, because they've been bad. I mean, look what they did when they put out the Jack Perry footage, which I still don't get because it was public. It was public forum. It was public knowledge. It was public property that somehow they got the copyright. It kind of blows my mind.
Right.
But I will be right back in a moment, sir.
You're good. You're good. As well, trust me, you're leaving like Zachary Wentz is out there trying to go and find Wesley here.
I'll find you.
If you pop up in the fucking shit behind me right now and just start wailing on me, everybody's gonna know what's happening out here.
There we go. Oh look, right now,
we're gonna both run off right now. Backstage footage right now of me and KJ having it out. Yeah. So, and again, it's so interesting that literally, like, that's all. They're all of 5 minutes away from each other, if that. Not even. They're literally like, you're in the next room over. They're shooting, brother. I don't know if this is a shoot, but they've 100% sold me and got me interested here. And hey, you bring in the Rascals, you get them involved in everything. They're a draw, and you can still use Zachary Wentz, who's still got that tie. You still have the connection with NXT from before, so you can still make it work. Oh, so Vic Joseph and Booker are just thanking everybody at USA now. WWE does rinse, wash, repeat, sex, bro. Yeah, I know. 100% I get that they do that, but still, I still am excited for that. And yes, a little bit. I get what you're saying. Am I a fan of Wesley now? Yes. Did we just become best friends? Yes. And so we are getting a whole video package right now of running through the history. And I think this is the one that I saw floating around on Twitter. But yeah, so we're running through the history of even NXT Black and Gold, all of that, of everything. It's the final NXT in the PC. I'm still up in the air of, I don't know if they're fully touring after this or if it's just doing a couple of dates, but we can talk about that after. But yeah, they're doing a whole video package, a whole montage about everything in NXT during the, them on USA, as we're getting right now, the way we're getting Chomp out there with Goldie. Oh, we've even got the terrible 2.0 days. We're showing Gunther, Black and Gold, hit different. Am I a fan of Wesley? Oh, no. So Tommy went on it. Stunner Jesus, it's still real to me, damn it. Amazing montage. That's one thing that you definitely can't knock WWE on at all, is their video packages, their promo packages are second to none. They can cut a trailer like a motherfucker. They will get you hyped up. As we're getting Cena and The Miz and Seth Rollins, we're showing right now all the, one-offs of everybody showing up in NXT. All right. Y'all have it. You can keep arguing. NXT hilarious, illustrious. I don't know why I said hilarious. Illustrious history on USA and WWE Network, of course, 100% of. To think about it, that NXT's gotten to this point that it can have a huge TV deal, have its own TV rights deal, separate from everything. There's no other WWE show going to CW. Christ, they took the money out of getting NWA and everything to sit there and put NXT on CW. So the fact that NXT has gone from a WWE Network exclusive to having a deal with USA to now it has its own TV deal and might potentially be touring, etc. That's super impressive and shows really how much they've built this, and it still walks that line now between being developmental and a third brand. As of course, KJ would leave me alone to suffer in my own misery and wallow in my own suffering. As I've got Wendy Chu coming out right now with Rosemary, and I love me some Rosemary. Trust me, as a good Italian and everything, I love me some Rosemary in multiple ways. But yeah, we're getting right now Wendy Chu and Rosemary thinking, yes, we've got Spooky Dookie Chu. Where are you? Justin popping me with this. Nick, what do you call an Italian ghost? A fungul. Yeah. Yeah. That's clever. I'm gonna start that because that's clever. I'm gonna use that. But we go to commercial break right as we get Wendy Chu and Rosemary coming out. So yay. Chu. Oh no, Wendy Chu is back. Yes. Rosemary said, "Oh, it'll be okay." Yes, Tony, we're gonna get through this because we've got, Rosemary there to help us get through it. Julia Gulia, not quite. Well, we've got a ghoul. Black and gold was the best thing that ever happened. Well, I'd like to think we're up there too, but fair enough, fair enough. Kyle, Nick, do you think we might John Cena for Saturday night's main event in December? I think that would probably make sense, honestly. It took me a minute to get where you're going with that. Of seeing him show up on there, I think would make sense. You're better gonna click that comment or I'm gonna hunt your dreams, Nick. What are you saying here? But I could see John Cena showing up on Saturday main event, and especially we got to see when the John Cena retirement tour really starts to kick off here, and the list of people that's going to be on this tour list. Wendy Chu is here. Wendy Chu is here. Yes, Anthony. I see it. You done said it 3 times. Wendy Chu is here. Thank you so much. What pasta has a bad memory? Spaghetti? You got there. You're trying to make a joke there. I get you. But yeah, it would have helped if that was the actual name of a pasta. But yes, Anthony, I see what you're saying. Of Nick about to make me spam the comments. You are, sir. I got you 3 times. Letting me know that Wendy Chu's out there. 100%. But right now we are in commercial break. So I will let everybody know we're back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Wednesday night Grand Slam. Thursday, I know we're going to have some stuff with Vince McMahon. We're going to talk about all of that. Trust me, I'm going to try and see if I can find a way to sit there and watch all 6 hours and everything like that at some point here. So thank you for showing up. If I don't have to,
I wasn't missing this. I wasn't missing a chance to brag about you.
Now I need to take my pause. You can just have this alone.
Yeah, we don't have to fight about it while it's happening.
I don't know. I feel like we need to do I suffer with you at this, or do I just excuse myself so we don't argue?
Right, folks, get your votes in. Are you taking Chu Mary or the Blonde Ambition?
I don't know if Chu Mary is like a good name or not.
Well, it's what's up there.
Perfect team for Halloween. Spooky Chu and Rosemary. Yeah. Oh, I gotta find the Justin with the joke of the night. What do you call an Italian ghost? A fungul.
A fungul. Hilarious.
All right, I'm terrible. Trey saying he's got the blondes winning.
There you go. I don't think so.
Maybe.
Right now, the chat's at about 74% for Chu Mary.
Blue Chu Mary is winning.
Blue Chu Mary is winning. Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu.
Yeah, you missed Anthony losing his mind here. So, see, they're setting up the segue here because we're cutting to Ava in the back here with Miss Parker. So, you can have your Blue Chew and everything. I'm going to take a pause for the cause. Maybe.
All right, there you go. Nick's running away from Chew because he doesn't want to have to admit she's good. So, he's going to take a little bit of break and, walk it off. But we got Ava Rain, who's been minimal on this show tonight, with Jada and Lola in the back. Miss Parker. Blonde's winning. We need Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey would be a great shout. I got no problem with Mike Bailey. The I always joke. I mean, he's literally the Kevin Hart of wrestling, as he takes all bookings. Yeah, that's it. Maybe that's what it is, Anthony. He's scared of Chu. She gives him the nightmares. As Carmen coming out, not a battle entrance. I don't love the sword, but that's a personal thing for me. Running Lola and Jada versus Fatal Influence next week. All right, okay. Not a bad little setup, as here comes Brindley Reese, which is Thea Hale 2.0. Not a bad NXT tonight. It's gone fast. Nothing momentous. And I'll be honest with everybody listening. I didn't expect anything over the top tonight, setting up a lot for next week and the week after. As you could expect, we are hoping for a lot of things to kind of go down as NXT goes back on the road, as NXT tries to fill bigger venues. So I think they'll be fine. And I do think that's why they're holding off in the way they are. I have a theory that with the IC title, I think that Dirty Dom beats Jay for the title because Dirty Dom didn't get beat in the three-way match a couple weeks ago, and also the Jay loses. I mean, I don't know that Dom's going to have that. You know, I mean, again, it would get him a shit ton of heat. As we got Ninja Turtle Chew tonight. Let's see how the chat's doing, folks. So still solid at about 70. Oh, dipped a little. But, you know, Chu Mary, definitely the favorites in this one. Carmen's entrance is dope. I like it. I do. Now we got Reese and Carmen kind of in matching gear. I will remind everybody, Carmen is a Canadian karate champion. Carmen looking good. She's talented. She's an up and comer. We haven't seen a lot from her. She did some we saw her working with Natty a little bit as a baby face. Maybe her and Brindley become an ongoing tag team. But right now, Chu and Rosemary is where my money's at. And again, what I want everyone to do right now, if you are watching NXT, watch and let me know if you see Chu do anything silly. Because that is the big point of contention. And as far as I'm concerned, since she went dark, she hasn't done silly things. She's been a little more forceful, a little more vengeful. Teaming up with Rosemary has helped a lot. I have an affinity for swords. Okay, there you go. Cool. How good is the karate in Canada? I don't fucking know. I have no idea, pal. Carmen has charisma and she's blonde. There you go. Long line there. Petrovich, Lady McIntyre. There you go. Who is the random girl in the back manager? That I'm not sure specifically you were talking about. Could be Stevie, who I do like. Could you see the TNA get a CWTV deal based on success at NXT? It'd be very interesting. I mean, the interesting dynamic with Access and TNA and the ownership group is that they own Access, right? So there's no fees, they're not making any money off it, but they're also not being overly hurt by it. It would be really cool if TNA could work themselves into a TV show, a weekly, something somewhere outside of Access. I think that's the one thing that one hurdle that is kind of holding them back from going to that next level. We see their ticket sales arguably rivaling AEW at times. So again, yeah, I mean, that's very interesting, but I think they could use it. Would their popularity growing would definitely help Smile Mark, definitely help. Jesus Christ, people are stupid. Dun dun dun. Art King laughing. Rosemary and Chu versus Jade and Bianca. Maybe too soon, but hey, if they keep winning. Wendy Chu is really scary. Wait a minute. Adonis is out at ringside. Here he goes, being weird again. right. CW has money and time to fill the network. Yeah, and again, maybe it's not on a Thursday. Maybe it's moved elsewhere. I don't know what their Thursday schedule's like. And again, I think with the ownership group, can you get it away from Access? Can you make it make sense? I think if it's financially viable, yeah, why not? But Rosemary just lays out Brindley as they were distracted by Adonis. A bit of a meh match overall. Rosemary intimidating the ref as she does. And Chu and Rosemary continue to be impressive as a tag team, as Carmen was nowhere to be found. Yeah, there you go. Big W. Do. Why you wasting my time? Do. Yeah, though Rosemary wins. I like it. Sol Ruka in the back talking to Punk. Ethan Page talking to Punk. Finally, there you go. Again, this alliance between Chu and Rosemary seems to be paying off. And again, you can have some feelings about Wendy. You can have some feelings about Rosemary together. Again, did anybody see anything silly tonight? I didn't. So you let me know. That pin was fire, 100%. That's Rosemary for you. 4-1. Boo. This man's hating from a distance. I wish Rosemary just won clean. Why Ashante distraction? Yeah, I don't quite get the Ashante angle there, but again, does it really matter? They were going to lose one way or the other. Again, I think that's maybe a little micro focused on that one, Richard. I don't know how impactful either way. I don't really care for what Ashante's doing because it's not really, was he going to have a match with Carmen? I told you Carmen and Adonis storyline. Yeah, where does it go from here though, Chris? I don't think Rosemary should have won, to be honest. I'm okay with Rosemary winning. Why would Rosemary not win? I got no problem with that. And again, the TNA talent getting W's on NXT television is good for business. I'm confused. A lot of people are saying the tag match will main event Bad Blood over the Hell in the Cell. Don't know what to think. Again, when you have two really marquee matches, this to me is going back to the heyday, the big time when more people were watching wrestling than ever before, where you did have main event matches going third, fourth, fifth. Like, not every star caliber match was the main event because you could only have one main event. Like I said last night, and I'll repeat this again tonight, as we got Cedric and Je'Von in the ring, is that I think with this, if that tag match goes after the Hell in the Cell, expect big things in that tag match. It won't just be a straight up tag match with a winner and we move on. There's a story to it. And actually, I thought about a lot today as far as I was watching some reports and reading some shit. I really think and I think someone in this chat might have suggested the idea that Jay and LA switch shows. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And the reason why I think it's not out of the realm of possibility is that there's still a wise man out there. And if the wise man is pulling strings and he's back in the mix and he becomes the X factor for the OG tribal chief, then you do have that, I pulled some strings and I made a trade happen. We need Jay. Jay is here now. Jay is here to help. The IC title being on SmackDown, the US title being on Raw, I got no problem with that. Continue to highlight. LA would have a lot of potential threats on Raw. I'm okay with it. Waller and Theory main eventing NXT, eh? Why not? Havoc might not appear in NXT if WWE valor her past social media activity. I don't know. And again, that one's interesting for obvious reasons. And Havoc hasn't been that. And Anthony, you can confirm if you can hear me. I don't think Havoc's had a big presence on TNA TV as well. Now, I don't know if she had been injured at any point. I don't know. Rosemary has lost 3 matches in NXT. It was nice to see her win. I'm with you, Anthony, 100%, my guy. Oh, this fucking moron. Die. How lonely and bored do you have to be? Yeah, so the Jessica Havoc question's a good one. Jessica Havoc's talented. She's a force, but there are some residuals out there. So it'd be very interesting. Adonis kind of creepy. Again, because I don't know, like, if he was hitting on, like, let's say Thea Hale and Riley was mad at him, or if he was hitting on, I don't know, fucking Lash Legend and Trick was mad, or if he was hitting on somebody paired up with a dude that could lead to a rivalry, what is he going to do? Have a match with Carmen? I don't get it. So it just comes off like this guy showing up at work and trying to hit on all the ladies. I don't know where we're going with it. Speaking of, I don't know how to.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to come back on that. But speaking of somebody that seems to keep wanting to hit on us and everything, we have our own Ashante the Adonis showing up in the chat.
Oh, it's just somebody who's bored and lonely. And again, usually, I mean, I could check it out, but a lot of times it's other people that are mad at our numbers are so high. So, hi.
How you doing?
People ripping us off and trying to mimic what we do.
Often imitated, never replicated, never duplicated. We do what we do because they can't do what we do.
Yeah. So, and again, some people project what
they hate us because they hate us.
Yeah, and people tend to project what they are. So, Mr. Administrator probably drinks a lot of what he's spewing.
All right. Moving on. Adontis with the hitting on Lowell Rowe.
I don't know. On hitting on Holland. Yeah, I mean, again, what, like, I don't know if you saw it, but Adonis comes out, distracts Carmen. He's got a thing for Carmen. Where does that go?
I don't know with any of this at this point. Like, to me, doing a gimmick like that in 2024 just it doesn't work. Like, the only way it works is like you said, which it's funny because I've seen people try and spread this rumor that's why Giovanni Vinci is booked the way that he's booked, because he was trying to mac on Tiffany, and Kaiser said nay.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think at all. I think it's just, again, people need to get clean to drama, and that's the only way you can make a character, a gimmick, or anything like that work is on the drama, like you said, of, you know, you're flirting with Thea and Riley Osborne, you know, gets upset about it or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you're going after Lash and Trick gets upset. That's the only ways you can make something like that really work.
Like, who's Carmen? Like, what, is Natty going to show up and beat him up? As we go back to the press conference.
Yeah, which, I mean, this is interesting that they're doing. I was not expecting Fatal Influence to be out here at the press conference.
Who is Cedric and Je'Von fighting up next?
Good question.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to remember, but off the top of my head, I do not know, sir. I got NXT on WGN next week. Mm-hmm. What now?
On his wagon.
Well, Ashante stole my gimmick, you know, MDB. I don't think you want to be, you know, with the sex pest. Corey, people need to understand that the main event is the featured match and not the last match on the card. Back in the day, the main event was on before the first intermission. Well, then that's like MDB, or I'm sorry, 4-4 saying about the tag match going on versus the Hell in a Cell. And I heard you talking about it. And I know we talked about it last night and the discourse that I've seen online of to where Fightful was initially reporting the tag match was going to be as Jada and Lola showing up and disrupting this press conference.
Okay.
Lola needs this more than anybody right now because she's out there. She wasn't good as a babyface so far, and she needs to get back to that, having that piss and vinegar, that, you know, that I'm still Lola from the block vibe.
She'd be better off turning on Jada and joining the group.
No.
She's better as a heel, man.
If they keep the same energy of to where she's like, I'm about that action, that's where they could make that work, of her as a baby face. And not, they don't need her out there with the terrible fake crying and everything and can't get a tear if you chopped an onion.
Oh.
But instead you need her out there of like, I'm ready to throw down.
Right. All right. So we got down.
There
There you go. We're probably getting another Julia Roxanne promo at the end of the show. I'd be okay with that. Dexter Loomis stalked better.
Yeah. I think Fatal Influence win next week, but I've got A-Town Down coming out right now. But yeah, we can, if we have time towards the end or there's another commercial or whatever we can talk about. I still think you end with the Hell in a Cell. I know the whole talk of, well, just because you didn't go on last, you're still in the main event. Like, I'm sorry, I'm the CM Punk mindset of what goes on last is the main event. The final act of the fucking show is the main event.
No, I agree with that theory, but I do think that the tag match has the potential to be the bigger marquee event.
It does, but also,
but like the fans act, it's a really weird take right now, Nick. Of like, imagine going to a concert or a festival and being mad that your first favorite band went right before your second favorite band. Like, I don't know, pick if you went to a concert and you had to watch if Slipknot went on before fucking Creed, and you're like, oh, this is bullshit. It doesn't change it. You're getting both shows.
Trust me, I kind of went to that when I sat there and I had Cypress Hill go on before Slipknot and everything. Right. So it's literally like they're both fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just happy I'm here.
Yeah, like no one's sitting there like at a concert and going, well, it is bullshit. I can't believe I got to watch this band second.
I agree with you with the take of depending on how the tag match ends.
Yeah.
Determines if that's the last thing. Mm-hmm. Same thing with what they have planned for the Hell in a Cell. It's all on what can follow up what.
Yeah.
That's the biggest statement of what needs to be the lasting image, whether it's something with Roman and Cody and all of that with the bloodline, or if it's Drew and Punk.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think there's Drew and Punk's going to have a hell of a match. It's going to be epic. It's going to be memorable. It's going to be the culmination of 9 months-ish.
Right.
But if the Wiseman comes back, if Jimmy comes back, if we don't know. And that's what I find a common practice in the IWC, as much as we hate using that term, is they get pre-mad about shit. We don't even know what the real answer is yet. But like I said, it would be like standing in the crowd pouting like, this is bullshit. I don't like this band as much as the last band. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's still a good fucking band. Enjoy the fucking show. Like, it's not really a lack of. I just know if you go after the Hell in a Cell, you better have some big plan, because if the Hell in a Cell goes proper, it's going to be hard to follow.
Well, and that's the thing is, to me, the Hell in a Cell kind of has been the backbone of this show, has been the foundation of this, and that's a match instantly is going to be hard to follow. We don't know per se. I mean, we obviously assume with Roman, Cody, Solo, Jacob all involved in a match that's going to show up and show out. But it's what happens after and everything that determines if that can outdo or live up or go past the Hell in a Cell match.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, like we've seen it in the past where even WrestleManias of, again, some years you want to go all the way back. We want to talk about boomers, but you go back to like watching, like Hogan, as much as Hogan was the champion in the main event spot, we spent a lot of time talking about the Randy Savages and the Steamboats and that kind of shit that, again, a good match, another good match, a main event. But the main event guy was the main event. Might not have been the best match of the show, but that was the main event guy. So I understand where they're coming from as a company of our marquee guys. Like if Conor McGregor comes back and fights, he's going last.
Yeah, and I get that, and at times you'll get the situations like, a Macho or a Steamboat or anything like that may have not always been the main event, but they had the best match. You see that now happen more frequently in any sort of wrestling company to where it won't always be the main event that has the best match of the night. It's the one that just has the biggest name value, the biggest draw, the biggest attention on it.
Well, look how many times The Undertaker did it, where Undertaker wasn't in the main event spot. I know CM Punk, one of his I want it to be in the main event. Bro, you're fighting Taker. Like, that's a main event match. So, again, I think in 2024, we put a lot of focus on, like, rank and file and where people should go. Just, like, again, as long as it makes sense and you don't kill your crowd in the first two matches, you'll be fine. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna. This pay-per-view sucks. The cage should have went last. Like, fuck
You
that.
well, you're not going to get mad about it, but it's one of those. As Je'Von goes flying over the top, and now Cedric doing the same, following suit. Has they've been in a bit of control here, so maybe we do get A-Town down, kind of running through as they even hit their own little DIY spot as we go to another commercial. But maybe A-Town down has a bit of a run in NXT. But I to me, there is still a point, there is still a reason of how you place the card and everything. I understand you can argue about what goes main event, what goes first. Like I've still constantly been a big fan of the theory of if you're not last, you're first, Ricky Bobby.
And I hate that.
You still have to be able to plan the card out. You still have to, like you said, do it to where you don't kill the audience, to where it still makes everything make sense. Everything's accentuated. And I think that's why WWE goes the 5-6 match card length, because you get time for things to breathe in between.
Right. Yeah.
Everything feels big when you only do 5.
That's a very modern take on like that. If you're not first or last, that like came out of like, I feel like it came out of the AEW camp way back when, because that was never the way. And again, there was nothing wrong with the last 3, 4 like this. The crowd needs a break. That's bullshit. Like you can literally go hit them hard. And we debated this last pay-per-view where you went 3 solid matches to end the show. Don't give me a lull. You can do the lull in the middle, but once we're off and running, main event, fucking kill it and put the foot on the accelerator and run us out to the end. We will not get tired if it's exciting. We will keep cheering. We will keep screaming. Like this whole, like, I don't know.
You do have to start the show off hot, though. You do have to start off the show with something big, and it is something to be said to where why we've had like the World Heavyweight title will start the pay-per-view when the WWE Championship will end it, or vice versa, what have you, because you do have to start them off, and it's an audience that has seen no wrestling, so they will react and they will pop for everything. They will be on their feet. They are not 2 hours deep into a show and have seen 3 superplexes and everything like that before. So that's my view on with that. Of you get them either while they're fresh with your biggest match, and that's how you get the carryover and you keep the momentum going. You start it off hot, and then you end it on the highest note.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. I always like, if you look at your matches and the match that the fans are going to be most vocal about, like as far as like, if you had a Jey Uso or even a Cody, like we saw Cody, because the crowd's going to sing out of the gate. You get the crowd pulled in right away. I agree with that, but I do agree with Smile Mark. I've always felt this way, that your biggest marquee match is always your champion. So if Cody's in that match, you can run it out, because if you're not kicking it off with Gunther, again, the Bad Blood is a rivalry, but traditionally it would still be followed by the world title. Traditionally,
is it insane though to think though that in arguably a year and a half's time, we've gone from I wish they would put something on this card to where we've sat there and had arguments of, well, couldn't they add more matches? Couldn't they put more tag matches or tag titles and everything? Couldn't they put the women's tag titles on here? Do we have Roman and Cody versus Solo and Jacob main event, or do we have a Hell in a Cell, or do we do Liv and Rhea with Dom on a shark cage and everything? Like there's so much good going on that I'm so glad that we're having an argument as to debating and validly debating as to what should be the main event versus hoping that there was a main event.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the guy like that's running and calling the shots in Triple H, a bulk of his career, he was having phenomenal matches that weren't the last match of the show.
Yeah,
right. Like he understands that. Like, all right, there is The Rock and Undertaker and Mankind and fucking Austin and this guy. Like, yeah, you got to find a way to, put them all in there.
Right. And as we're getting an ad for Saturday Night Main Event I like Boston's here real quick of Roman's first match since Mania is going to main event. I just remember that. That's a done deal. That's a very honest and valid point of it's Roman's first match post Mania.
Right. And it is the biggest storyline in all of professional wrestling over the last 5 years. It is a bigger deal. They presented it as a bigger deal. even with the pre-tape they did with Cody and Roman, and Cody's your world champion. Roman's your biggest draw of the last however many fucking years. You got to pay homage to that. And
where do you slot the Hell in a Cell then? As Je'Von tags in, as we do still have the match, but yeah, this is I really like this whole, because it's a valid conversation on both sides. But where do you slot in
right before it?
The Hell in a Cell?
Right before it or two before it? One of the last three matches.
Oh, again, could you follow up the tag match, like you precede it with the Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, because you finish strong. You have that big match. Again, you can move it one before and have one in between, but I don't believe in this whole like up and down. I believe in forward. And if I was booking, you do the Hell in a Cell, everyone's like, oh my God, that was amazing. Then Cody's music, then the Bloodlines music hits. Everyone has that. Oh, Je'Von.
Ooh.
Wow.
I get what you're saying but to me, you still build to a crescendo. You still
that is your crescendo. You don't go up and then down.
You're the same note. You're the same note.
You're just going to keep going. Like everything that's supposed to happen is bigger. And that's the kind of the way, even the way the UFC builds their fights, their fight nights and their cards, it gradually gets more significant. Higher ranked fighters, title match, all the title. They don't go title match, lower ranked, non-title match, title match, lower rank. They don't do that. It's title match, title match.
I get what you're saying. I think just with this card, you're almost kind of here. You're a lot closer to here than you really, at least I think than you think you are, or whatever.
If everything goes the way they should, and again, if you have the fans eating out of the palm of your hands the way you want them to, you literally have ability to, again, they'll start singing for Cody. They're gonna pop huge for Roman. Like, to me, it's a very quick turnaround. If you have confidence, it's no different than Tony Khan moving around. Oh, the basketball playoffs are happening. We got to move our card around. That's chicken shit booking. I don't think Triple H is a chicken shit. Now, there may be a match in between, but even that's a hard sell for me. I like how the UFC, like I said, I use that example a lot. They go like, small, a little bit bigger, bigger, huge, as far as on paper.
As 2-3 as A-Town Down picks up the win here.
There you go. As expected. Interesting. We still got 7 minutes left, which I think is going to be Roxy and Julia. But Axiom comes out. What is happening here? They just stripped the table for no reason.
Well, because but you still setting up the whole tension between those two. Or those four, sorry.
Why are the tag champs pushing each other?
They're just hyping each other up.
Okay. There's Trick.
Right.
I saw Jay-Z before Kanye. Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Well, I mean, depends on how you want to look at Kanye now, but we can talk about that later. Fraxium fighting again. I didn't know that they were actually fighting. It looked to me like they were more of like, like, brothers like back and forth and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, 0-2, boo.
The Bloodline. Sorry, I just want. I like this
one. You're good.
The Bloodline storyline is definitely the biggest storyline in pro wrestling. Totally agree. And 444. That's also got to be a part of the consideration, right? Again, do you open with the Hell in a Cell? I don't think so. I think if I was booking, I'd open with something like Rhea and Liv and Dom in the cage because that's fun. The crowd's going to be totally into it. They're going to get to boo. They're going to get to cheer. It'll be very interesting, but it's not a bad problem to have. It's like being a coach with too many stars. It's never a problem.
Yeah, this is being Deion Sanders with Travis Hunter of do I start him at wide receiver or cornerback? I guess you can go both ways and everything. Like to me, I guess, and this is more, I guess, I don't know how they're going to end the tag match and everything. And I get it's Roman's first match back, what have you. And I agree. The Bloodline storyline's been the biggest storyline in the past 4 or 5 years in pro wrestling at this point.
Yeah.
But following up the Hell in a Cell, I can easily have that. Like, that's harder for me to move that to like to start the show than it is to move Roman and Cody to start the show.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And again, I think what the wrestling fans need to do and what the WWE is forcing them to do is be patient, relax, take a breath, because we don't know. Like on paper, you're like, how does a Hell in a Cell not go last? But if we have this crazy tag team match with the biggest names in your company, and we get a whole bunch of holy shit, does the Wise Man return? Does Jimmy return? Does Jay get roped into it? Does a random Samoan that we didn't see coming show up? Like, to me, we won't know till the end of the night.
Yeah, as they're replaying, the whole Georgia tag segment and everything. Well, goddamn. But
it's Friday.
It is a wealth of riches. We're literally like, so do I want to take the Rolls Royce or do I want to take the Bentley right now? This is a little bit with that kind of situation of either way. It is fantastic. Either way is a stacked match, a stacked show. And it's really interesting that this is all on what's kind of essentially a B-level pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think if WWE is clicking at such a grind right now and on such a high gear that all the fans can find a shit on is the order of their matches, they'll be okay. They'll be fine. And I think they understand that. I don't remember it like growing up a wrestling fan, like even through my teens and stuff, where it was like we really talked a lot about why didn't this match go after that match? Like I never ever had that debate with friends or family, like, through my, growing up as a wrestling fan of like, oh, I can't believe Stone Cold and whoever, Jake the Snake did main event tonight. Like that was never a thing.
Well, we've also gotten a bit smart here in our age and everything like that.
Right.
Damien even mentioned my favorite feud of the year is Punk versus Drew.
Did
we miss a Funaki sighting?
Did we miss Funaki?
Funaki, number one Japanese commentator. As we're on another commercial break here. So, yeah, it's so weird for me to take like a commercial break with like 3 minutes left in the show and everything.
Yeah, it's silly, but they go 8 minutes over, so we'll be all right.
Don't say 0-3. You're gonna give Nick a coronary. I almost wish if I could have that clip on quick standby here, but yeah, no. Is anyone going to accept any of my trades? BS? No.
Stop sending shit
0-3. What?
Stop sending shit trades.
Send the offer back.
Stop sending.
It's a negotiation. God damn it! It's not just you send me a contract and I say nay.
Your starting point does not get us to the table.
So then we find a starting point then. WWE been starting off most PLEs hot for the last 3 to 4 years, I believe, strategically. They're trying to get in people invested early. Unfortunately, weak attention spans are a thing. A little bit, though, with my discussion of where you burn people out and everything, of microwave society, of you do need, everybody's got to go take a walk about, everybody's got to go have, a vape break. Everybody's got to go get a hot dog and everything from the merch store. And then they come back and they pop in for the next match.
No, dude, I mean, it's funny. And I guess a part of it is like just growing up different. And again, understanding that things do change because I'm a guy that would go to like festivals and such. And it was just like, you want to burn out. Like you're not like, I really hope they put a shit band on between these two good ones so I can take a break. It was just like, we're going. Like, again, it's
y'all built different, I guess. Y'all built different.
Right? Like, we just want to fucking go. Like, once the party starts.
And like I said, and I get it, but that's the thing is, to me, you almost save that for your huge shows, your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams, your Royal Rumbles. You save that. You don't do that all the time because then that becomes the precedent, that becomes the standard, and then you have to now create a new level to go above and beyond that.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. I mean, again, I think we're at a point now where we're excited for Bad Blood. And used to be the shows between, like, Backlash sucked for how long? Until this year, we got a good Backlash. Like, there was years where
Bad Bunny, Puerto Rico was good.
But, on the cusp. But there was a lot of throwaway shows. And I mean, Money in the Bank being like the fifth. But there was a lot of throwaway shows. Like Backlash was a lot of just rematches for Mania. Like
you had mid-level pay-per-views. That
yeah,
was
and they felt
100% a thing.
now going into Bad Blood, dude, we're pumped. Like you said, we're getting Dom Mysterio in a shark cage. We're getting CM Punk and Drew in a fucking Hell in a Cell. We're getting the Tribal Chief and Cody in an epic battle, which has a whole lot of implications for the next 6 months of wrestling. Like
Right.
there's a plethora, and I haven't even touched on them all. And fans are still like, how do we get Gunther on the pay-per-view? How do we get this one on the pay-per-view? How do we do, you know, like there's a lot of funny, like moving parts. Like, oh, Bronson and Braun should be on Bad Blood. Like, we're gonna save that for Raw because the cup runneth over.
That's 100% where we're at right now with pro wrestling, and it's a wealth of riches argument at this point. Like you said, thy cup runneth over when it comes to good wrestling, and that's the best part of. We can have a moment like Jay goes over Braun on free TV when there was an argument a week or two that should have been on Bad Blood.
Yeah, and again, there was a time where those mid-card titles did get defended and exchanged a lot on the regular shows. And because guys like your world champions, like a Hogan or someone else, they weren't like, or even an Austin. Austin wasn't defending his title weekly.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. As we're getting the contract setting is, yes, we got Funaki, Japanese #1 commentator.
So how do you get Julia over as a baby face? Give her Funaki.
Right. Now all I can picture is Jerry the King with Taka Mitchell, no clue.
Yeah. Instant bonus points for Funaki.
I like though too that they've got like Funaki as her like translator and everything, even though honestly she does not need a translator. She's Japanese and Italian and is actually fluent in English. But yeah.
Well, last week or the week before she spoke, and she did feel a little bit, thick in the accent department.
Maybe I mean, she's been wrestling over there her entire career. So, I mean, yeah, a wee bit here. It's a little bit like every now and then you might slip an oot and boot and everything. But yeah.
Oot.
But it's interesting because they didn't... as Roxanne just could not give a flying fuck about this.
Right?
Like
she was responding in Japanese, right?
Well, so yeah, and
if she was fluently comfortable in English, she'd be speaking English. So I do think there's a reason.
Fair enough. Could be part of the gimmick. What I was trying to say is about how like you had it where Asuka initially like would struggle with the Japanese or with the English promos and everything. So I think they just like, fuck it, we'll just get to we'll get
I think Triple H does a better job of letting people be comfortable because most of their charisma and attitude come out properly when you just let them. And we saw it with Nakamura. Nakamura did a lot of the subtitles. Like, we don't need you to try, like, just be you and be yourself. We'll find a way to convey it to the audience.
Well, and like you said, though, we've got Funaki out here, so you're instantly going to get her as a babyface because even if she could cut a promo in English, Funaki out there cutting the promos, get over 10 times better.
Yes, MDV. It was shitty and it sucked the way they did it. But you're not wrong. Shut up.
Well, remember for a bit when they actually called it WrestleMania Backlash and everything. Like that's when it really felt like you're a B to now C level pay-per-view at this point. Like you're almost just a special house show.
Right. Oh, someone's going through a table. Roxanne has shown. Why would they do subtitles like this, man? I got to squint.
Yeah.
20 years old and carried a brand, then came to NXT to become women's champion. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right, Richard. And Vince treated a lot of things like shit. So, again, when you're fucking out of touch and spend more time chasing ass than booking your shows, there's a problem. I said it.
Right.
My subtitles say speaking in a global language. Does Funaki? Yeah, I would say so. Yes, that's
Is he not on a Legends deal?
Right.
Well, and I saw somebody mention probably Boston and everything of how Roxanne's kind of very much in the AJ Leva and everything like that of this wearing the Converse, I don't care. I'm just gonna, walk through you like everybody else. Like, do you see an AJ Lee potential return at some point here? Like an AJ Lee Roxanne feud? I know I guessed for a while that she could be like the special guest in this match or anything. But yeah.
AJ Lee is an interesting one because she's so like, from what I gather, she seems very into her work, so she's not in a rush. Like it's where people talk about Shane going to AEW is like Shane doesn't need the money, AJ doesn't need the money. It's the same idea. Like I've already done it, unless there's something that's really kind of gonna be cool. And I think maybe something like a Roxy adds that element of like I love her. She's kind of like a little sister. Maybe I put her over. Maybe I have a little fun with it. I don't know. I mean, AJ seems like a bit of a peculiar one where it's not, as
it's not in the front of the mind and everything like that. Of we've got Phil, we've got Punk back and everything. He's out there and he's played up about how pretty much AJ or Roxanne and Cora Jade are pretty much his and AJ Lee's unofficial daughters and everything like that. But do we see AJ Lee? I still would love to see it. I still think that there's plenty that she could still do. Like we still see Trish out there popping up and killing it and everything. So I think she'd be great, but it's the ball's in her court.
My only fear, and we've seen it a lot, Nick, where I hope we see this person again, and they come back and they're never quite who they were. So you're like, but I don't know if that's
valid.
But that's my only worry of like you hype her up so big and then she doesn't come back and like, you're like, ah. But I love how I watched wrestling for 30 years, had no effing idea who Julia was. And I think Nick and I talked about this a lot, even about MCMG and other independent stars or people that made their name in Japan. That's fine. Like, again, a lot of that's why they go through this process to be introduced. Now you can make your opinion on whether or not Julia is what they say she is.
Yeah, there is still a funnel. It is still a bit of the WWE machine, and there is still a bit of a funnel and everything to it. And as much as we watch anything and everything, when it comes to pro wrestling, that doesn't mean everybody else does.
Yeah. This is funny from Boston. That is,
yeah, I mean, guy's got to be a guy.
Did you claim that does not like baby faces?
I don't even fully remember, I guess, if I make this claim, but I'll stand by it out here. The ultimate babyface just wants to stand at the top of the throne as the ultimate babyface out there. Of Anthony's not a fan of baby faces.
Right.
How can they hang a shark cage in Hell in a Cell in the same arena? That's a good question. I hadn't actually thought about the semantics. They have the shark cage in the Hell in a Cell.
Well, they just roll out a crane with the shark cage on it, and the Hell in the Cell is on something like on the
yeah. Board. Well, is Dom going to
wait a minute.
Yeah, Steph in the corner.
Let's go. Steph in the house saying hi, guys. Stephanie That's cool. That's
100% hell. That's awesome. Holy.
Somebody said tonight, what happened to Steph? And we're like, she's coming. But yeah, you set up this match, and now you're getting us in the back of our mind ready for the next one. We end the night. Roxy, Julia, and Stephanie Vercoeur are all on screen together. That's beautiful, man.
And 100%, I think it's now been confirmed. We have a confirmed kill of that. We've established that NXT's women's roster outdoes every other women's roster out there.
It's ridiculous.
It's insanity at this point, my guy. We're setting up Roxanne versus Julia to debut on CW, and we end. And that's a hell of a way, by the way. We talked about how it was interesting. They're hyping up the CW, but you end the lineage of NXT on the USA Network with Stephanie Vercoeur showing up and just saying, whoever wins, I'm coming for you.
Hi, guys. Like, it's a nice little caveat. And again, it shows the forward thinking. It's not just in the bubble. It's actually having a mind on the storytelling moving forward. Steph showing up is a big deal. She's going to make an impact. For those who don't know Steph, strap in, strap on. There's going to be a lot of fun with this one. Pause
and you
pause.
end it as a cliffhanger. So anyone who doesn't know, you don't got to watch the rest of the show. You can go right to Google and sit there and figure out what was going on.
Hey, Google, who the fuck was that?
Right. Hey, Google, who was just on my screen?
Right. But apparently you said it on Friday after a 5-minute KO rant, John Cena rant, and when I wanted KO to hit Cody with a chair. I also want KO to hit Cody with a chair.
I still think it's a tease. I think it's a weapon of mass distraction. I still think Randy Orton is going to be the one that turns heel and everything, and you're not going to see it coming. You're going to sit there and get everybody hyped up and expect KO to turn, and then Randy hits out an RKO out of nowhere.
I fully expect the Randy Cody run, but I don't know if that doesn't mean that you can also have KO do it too.
We talked about this though. What do you do with a KO heel run? What do you do?
I don't know. That's a good question. That is a tough one. But folks,
yeah, everybody wants to see it, but no one wants to have the follow through.
I just like KO as a heel, man. Stephanie, yes, Steph is here. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of NXT. Get your ranking in out of 10. Let us know how you felt about it, what you liked, didn't like. Me and Nick, we're going to hang around for a couple more minutes before we shut this shit down. But this is going to be a fun one here tonight, or it was a fun one here tonight overall. Fast show, not a lot of big moments, I would say, other than the very end.
Well, yeah, that's clearly the biggest moment, 100%. Humans need new entertainment. Fair enough. Wolfgang.
Yeah,
Wolfgang Puck.
Send the mothership and entertain us.
Yeah, I was just, hey, man, on all the shrooms. All the shrooms.
7 out of 10 from Eric. Very interesting now. Absolutely. It just, again, stacks and stacks. Have we confirmed that AJ Lee is not a producer for the women's division either on NXT? As far my knowledge is no. She's got other jobs.
Right. I like this. I'm a back her.
I bet you are. Wrestling baby. Steph and I don't mean McMahon, even though today's her birthday. Well, shout out Stephanie McMahon. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, was that an interesting little halfway tie-in here? But I do really like that, and WWE's gotten really good of the vignettes, the little teasers, the little cliffhangers, and everything. We saw it even with Monday Night Raw. We got the QR code, and I did want to talk it out because I think you actually initially nailed it because the fire symbol and everything, the circle that showed up on Monday Night Raw. To where I and a lot of people instantly thought it was, the Lucha Bros and everything. And I even did a poll on Insta, and still everybody's the Lucha Bros. But everybody sat there and ciphered through it, and it's like it spells out war with the Viking Raiders and everything. So it might go that way.
That's what I like. I love question marks. I love the QR codes. I love the hints and the teases. Again, if it is Penta and Ray, there's a lot of reporters out there that are going to eat shit on this one because they report out their ass. But we don't know until we know. I even joked maybe it's like Seth frickin' Rollins. I don't know.
He's not frickin', he's pricking now.
But yeah, no, I mean, again, the question marks always make for fun TV. Could have been done better, but cool to the future of women's division. Joe, could have been done better. I mean, again, are we just being picky? 8.5 out of 10 knee pads. 10 out of 10, Stephanie Vancouver, Julia. No Ava belly button. There was no belly button. That's a bonus point. Funaki and no belly button. Two things I really like.
It was an all right episode of NXT, and the way that they ended it just added that extra little notch above.
Yeah, you kind of got through it because it's that last one, and we're saving a lot for next week and the week after. But then you give us a nice little cherry on top on the way out. So
what are you giving it? I'm seeing some 7s, some 8s, some 7.5s, all that. What are you giving it, sir?
I mean, I like Damien got 8.5. I think I'll go 7.5 tonight. There was nothing epic, a little bump up for the end, but overall it was a very kind of fluff night. I'll go 7.5. 9.
I'll go 7. I'll go 7.
You're going even less. Okay. 8. Not
well, it wasn't, like I said, it was an indifferent episode of NXT tonight. Okay. It was still all right. Everything was nothing bad, nothing great, nothing moved the needle either way until we got to the very end. And it was surprising that, we got to the end like that. The whole end segment wasn't advertised or anything like that. Like we didn't advertise a Julia and a Roxanne face off or anything.
a lot. It was funny because, like, even when you look through the slides, like, there was not a lot that they pre-told us. There was a handful of things, but a very interesting night. And I agree. Like, I mean, 7. I'm perfectly fine with 7 as a rating.
I could see 7.5. I'll maybe give you a 7.25, but I'm staying on a 7 right now.
Yeah, no, they're getting a bonus mark for. I mean, again, I love the fact that Steph ended that show. And I'll give them a bonus mark, half a bonus mark for Funaki, and a half a bonus mark for Ava wearing fucking a full shirt.
Funaki.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Hell yeah, HBK is cooking now. Stephanie Vercour. Yeah, man, it's crazy. 7 out of 10, Dale. 7 out of 10, Anthony. So everyone's kind of, okay. I only watched maybe a half hour. Okay, perfect. 7 out of 10.
Well, in the ballpark, though.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to save that for later in the week, bud. I know you're a really big Liv fan, but we'll come back to that. Big Nick, will you be here for Dynamite tomorrow?
We shall see.
The teasers. We can tease too, bitches.
Right.
Could it be the Viking Raiders? It could be. It could be. It could be, Icelandic for fucking war.
I saw people that were playing, fucking internet, Scientologists and everything like that, of breaking down to getting old Viking texts and everything of it spells out war and all of that. So, which to me, I always thought interesting because last I knew, Eric was like really dealing with some.
Well, Eric was dealing with this fusion.
Right, and I thought Ivar was close to that, or was dealing with another issue as well. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's been on the sideline with an injury as well. They've both been out there dealing with like serious injury issues.
Yeah. I don't know where they're at. So that's the curious part. Again, my instant thought when I saw the thing was, Ray, Phoenix, Penta, and there was rumors that they were going to call him Fuego, which I don't love, but I kind of connected those dots. Again, I don't know that Ray and Penta are free from AEW. I don't, but weirder shit has happened, dude.
Right. So we had Stephanie Vaccor show up tonight.
Right. Are you surprised NXT didn't mention Jade and Bianca showing up anymore? Did they scrap that? No, but you can't do everything. I mean, again, they'll get back to it. They'll be back.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that they were going to be in a huge segment even when they did show up. So I don't really think it's at the forefront.
Yeah. 8 out of 10 for me. Hope you all have a good evening. Thank you, Z-Man. Potential triple threat women's match at Halloween Havoc. Yeah, we're looking well ahead. We got more shit to get into before that. But yeah, potentially a triple threat. Again, part of me believes that Roxy will be moving on, and you're looking at the next 2 women that are going to be at the top of this division. It'll be very curious how this plays out over the next while. But we still have in-house talent that is at the top of the marquee. So it'll be very curious. 7
out of 10, 7.5. I like this though, real quick. Of PRF, Pretty Ricky Fontaine.
I like it. Or someone said, what was it? Yeah, Free Pretty Ricky was the other one.
Yeah, we just put the wrong letters in the wrong order.
Right. 6.8 out of 10 for NXT. KO. We're to turn heel. We'd have to play some on Raw. Yeah, again, I think you and I kind of talked about this. Of if he does go heel, we don't know what to do with him. I do like the fact that he can be disappointed, but I still love you, bro.
And that's like what I said. That's I think what it is. If they set up, they know the visual. They've now placed it out there so much that they put it so much on a tee that I don't think they're actually going to swing at it. I think it's going to be the hidden ball trick of we're going to set this so clearly right there for you that you don't see the other thing coming out of the side here.
Jade Blair Chicago was very true with that. See, Money, usually I agree with you on your 0 to 10 for no Trish, but there was literally like 45 women on this show tonight. There's gotta be somebody that gets some marks.
There was some blonde out there that you at least had to be in.
Right.
You had to enjoy. There was some female wrestler you had to enjoy.
I love Trish. Come on, C Money. We got to expand the horizons a little bit on this one.
Right. We got to expand upon our borders. I can try and say words.
Miz TV is going to have a contract signing between Tony and Oba, so I wouldn't anticipate anybody debuting during that segment. Trek. Sorry to hurt that thought.
Could you see though between Chicago and St. Louis? Could you see? And it would be the coup of the century because nobody so far has talked about it, reported it, hinted at it even. But that's what it would be phenomenal if all of a sudden out of Chicago or a St. Louis or Ricky Stark shows up.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to lose my mind because I'm such a big fan of the dude. And I can't believe you watch this guy wrestle and you can't, I got to watch fucking Jericho at nauseum and I can't get some Ricky Starks. You can't even
publicly. You go publicly on the record and sit there and say, I would love to find something to do with Ricky Starks, but I just can't seem to find what to do and everything. Like, he's on your roster.
He did the same thing.
Have 7+ hours of television and everything. Figure it out.
He said the same thing with Britt. It's again, Tony's very non-confrontational, partly why he can't manage a company. But I do think that's where it's like, oh, she's great. She's a part of us. We'll see her later, I guess. I hope. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Now you've got the whole Daniel Garcia contract issue going around.
Well, that's another fun one. I don't know, Kyle. I'm assuming there would be some overruns. CW is not, as far as I know, up against news. Like Fox will not miss her national news. Now that is gone, CW seems to have a bit more flexibility there.
Yeah, CW probably will have a touch of overrun. I think that's SmackDown will stay as the 2 hours with a touch of overrun. Raw and Netflix is the wild card. If I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, ABJ. I think they're just doubling down, my guy. I don't know. I get your question, but it is what it is. All right, folks, we are going to shut this one down. There was one other question I wanted to really click first, but is KO going to go to AEW? I don't know. I really don't. I think he might be stuck for life with WWE. It all depends on where his career's at. But right now, how could he leave with the people he's involved with?
Well, to me, it's on what he wants to do. I'll never speak for anybody in any sort of decisions that they want to make and everything. But if I'm Kevin Owens, I know what's good and I know what ain't good, and I'm staying WWE. There
you go. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of NXT tonight, being on, part of the channel, being part of all the fun stuff. We will be back tomorrow, as always, as we do have Grand Slam tomorrow night, a stack card, a whole bunch of shit going on. We will be here for it, as we are always. Stay tuned. We got some programming notes coming your way. We got some surprises coming your way. Maybe click that little bell, not maybe, actually hit that little bell, because we might have a couple afternoon streams popping up as well. We will be bringing some Vince McMahon coverage and so much more. Plus, we got some new shows coming your way as well. We thank you as always. We love the debate. We love being the Wrestling Utopia. And follow us on all our socials. Click all the links and come back tomorrow. Nick?
Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you talk about that wrestling, you're going to put that for life with it.
We got a Grand Slam tomorrow. See you on the flip side. Good night.